That's it. That's it. Besides fourth question, where you stay? Do you own your own house or do you live in your mama house? That's like the only four things that they know. If there's a fifth question, do you got any churn? The sixth question, do you got a wife or alimony or something like that you got to pay for? That's it. That's it. Is there female competition? Do you own your own stuff? And do you have an income coming in? That's like all they give a damn about. And after that, they don't care. They don't care how well you treat them. If you're nice, respectful, if you're considerate towards their needs, they don't give a damn if you prioritize them at all. If you're paying for this engagement, they don't give a fuck. But that puts them in a compromising position because if she show up to 8 dates and then she get used to being around and you showing up to these 8 dates paying for it, then y'all end up start sleeping around and then y'all end up in this position where you want to progress the relationship further. She still don't know who the fuck you are because she's getting whatever she asks for, and she stopped using your first name by the fourth or fifth date, so she don't even know what your last name is. Don't remember what your first name is because everybody called their partner Bay. Could not report your husband missing to the police. What's his name? Oh, his name is Bay. What he look like? That one dude. The one that dropped me off and never came back. He said guilty, he's black. Damn right. You dress much better than me for sure. I dress much better than most people, honestly. Not on your first several dates. Yeah, well, you're gonna say not on your first several dates, but I'm gonna say probably off the first three, we probably not gonna talk about money on the first three because you really got to be worthy for us to talk about money. But before we get into a commitment where I'm paying regularly for you, I got to know that you're worth it. Think about this, ladies. Some of y'all got to check that criteria before you sleep with the guy. You got to make sure he worth it. The most valuable thing a woman got to offer is her body. The most valuable thing a man got to offer is his estate. Her strict requirement to get a piece of that should be his strict requirement for her to get a piece of his estate. You got to start digging now. Because if y'all don't dig, if y'all stop on surface level engagements, y'all going to end up in the wrong relationship because the sex is good and the money is great. And then when the sex die down or the money run out, y'all going to be in a bad spot. And that's what I'm going to try to tell y'all today on how to make changes on that. He said build a bit of friendship with her first. Comfort zone. Fuck that shit. Look, okay, I respect that though. I had a Tourette's moment just now. I respect that though. It is a better move to technically start off establishing a friendship before you get into a romantic relationship. However, women are extremely decisive. And within the first 3 to 5 dates, they have decided that they're going to give this a chance. Or they have decided you are not worth their time. Once they decide that you are not worth their time, they will not turn down anything free. But they will not give you any opportunity to advance your relationship from that friend zone. So the problem with current modern dating is you start as strangers, end up as quote unquote acquaintances. Y'all fall into this situationship that's an open, untitled relationship where y'all are trying to feel each other out while feeling up everybody else. And then y'all decide to be exclusive or y'all decide to just be friends. You do not have the establishment of the friendship until after you're married because you're not trying to be friends with this person. You're trying to smash and then you're trying to get married. That's it. You smash it until she demands a wedding ring. That's it. I don't agree with the method, but that's the way it is. Most men, passport bros, if you fly to another country, You're not flying to another country to stay there for 5 years to find a wife on year 4, to find a girlfriend on year 4, where y'all been friends for 2 years before y'all got married. You flying over there where within the next 6 months, you're going to find a chick that you done been around long enough to say, I'm going to give this a shot. And then you're going to try to get her citizenship in that first 2 years that y'all are married in America. Her probationary status is contingent to y'all getting along in America. And if you can afford it, y'all gonna fly back ever so often and bring her back to her hometown. And y'all relationship is gonna be based on how much y'all can negotiate. But your friendship with her is gonna be based on how much she cooperate with you. Because you wasn't getting a friend when you went there. You flew out there to go find you a wife. You flew out there to find a woman that would agree to your terms. And if she agreed to your terms in exchange for a better way of life, that was it. Friends what? But I do believe that a friendship would be better. It would be better. But it's not logical for us to see that in our society. He said a wife or a maid, your choice. Well, in the Philippines, that's the same thing. Because really, if you go out there and you go get one of them maids, they are wife material. You just got to find one that's single with no children and willing to relocate. If you move out there for 6 months on a work visa, she can work for you for 3 to 6 months. She can find out all the stuff that you like about what she got going on, and then you can offer her a deal that she shouldn't refuse. She accepts that deal, you get her a passport, you fly her out. But it's still the same thing. Marriage contracts can look different kind of ways, far different from the arranged marriages, because the forced arranged marriages where the person being put into the marriage against their will is against the law. But if the wife is building terms and conditions to marry the husband, they can establish that type of dynamic. Now, under the laws of most courts, anything non-tangible is not necessarily enforceable under the law. They have obligations where you perform. And if you don't perform, that's a breach of the agreement. But I mean, being able to put your relationship on paper, that's what you need to have happen. Here's a form to fill out. I'll call you if I think you're marriageable. I got to check their references. I got to call their last 5 exes. If she got 5 exes, she should be fired. Both come with benefits. If they're from the Philippines, they both come with from benefits. No, you're right. We're not in Utah. Florida, it's a little bit harder. But let's get into it, because we're going to try to figure out how to navigate through trying to find a better way to go. First up, and this is a game changer, is to define your non-negotiable expectations for behavior. I tell y'all this on the show on a regular basis, that if you put your time into getting your non-negotiable expectations for behavior together, you will have less problems once you have fully established your relationship. I know what you are thinking. Non-negotiables, isn't that just being picky? Won't that limit my options? And the answer is yes, it fucking will. It will limit your options dramatically. And that's exactly the point. The goal isn't to have the most options available, it's to have the right options that benefit you. Too many of us enter the dating world with a vague idea of wanting someone nice, funny, and attractive. That's 3 stipulations for a female to say that she perfect, when all she got to do is meet 3 criteria: nice, funny, and attractive. And they say that they're 10 because they're attractive, but they got a piss poor attitude and they ain't said nothing funny. That means that 1/3 of 10 is where you fall right now. 1/3 of 10 is where you fall right now out of nice, funny, and attractive, because you attractive. but you mean and you not funny. Now, we can break that down, but 1/3 of 10 is something close to like 3/9, which makes you about a 4, not a 10, because you're attractive, but you mean and you not funny. These females gonna be mad at me today. I ain't trying to front. I ain't trying to front. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. Then we wonder why on the third date we with someone who wants to live on a boat when we get seasick, or someone who thinks financial planning is for quitters. I'm trying to tell y'all, these non-negotiables, y'all got to get on this. He said, remember to like and subscribe, y'all. Remember to like, subscribe, and mash those reaction buttons. Because if you mash those reaction buttons, especially if y'all are on Twitter and Twitch, then the algorithms will know that we here live and we're talking about some serious stuff. He said, I want, like most men, to be appreciated in the relationship. Now, ladies, y'all heard that from just about every damn man on the face of the earth in every country around the world. I don't know why y'all don't just appreciate men for being alive and breathing. Why men got to do stuff for you to be validated? But that's in most modern societies, is that men have to contribute to a woman to be valued by that woman, but a woman just has to be alive. And she is complimented, she is praised, she is worshiped just for showing up. I ain't complaining about it, but I'm saying that the dynamic is skewed. It has become so much of a habit that most men don't know how not to compliment a woman in passing. I don't even know who she is, but you got to say, ooh, you look nice today. You're cute. I like your outfit. But how many times do you hear it back from somebody you didn't say that to? Oh, you look nice today. You look handsome. Oh, look at how attractive you are. Stunning. None of that. Ladies, y'all need to validate these men. Y'all need to validate these men, because these men will come and get y'all out of a burning building, save you out of a crash car, do CPR on you, get sued by you, carry you to the hospital. These are the same men that'll catch a bullet for you, beat up the purse snatcher, stop you from being accosted in a dark alley. These are the same men who don't know who you are, and you can stranger danger with them, and they will protect you from the danger. And these are the men in passing that you do not show respect to on a day-to-day basis. I don't know what y'all thinking. Between them and buying coffee and donuts for the police, so that when the police show up, they're showing up to help you because they know that you're going to feed them. I mean, shit. I'm going to tell y'all, way back in the day, I used to work at a restaurant, and I used to feed the police on my shift, on my dollar. Like, they got free food when they came to my shift. So, unlimited coffee and whatever they wanted to eat. So when it was about to go down, I would get out there and fight whatever needed to be fought until the police show up. And they was coming to come help me. That was when I stopped working there, that whole dynamic changed. They would beat my ass. But it's a principle of the fact that you build loyalty by showing respect and appreciation to the people that you're going to count on in your time of need. And that's just mutual respect. So y'all know most firefighters are volunteers. Some of them are on salary, but a lot of them are not. So y'all need to, everybody who got money, now that y'all done got y'all money from the damn furlough back, everybody who got an extra paycheck to go do something wasteful with, go buy a decent meal from Olive Garden, take it to your local fire station and leave it with the fire chief, and show the people that y'all appreciate them. That half the time they live at the damn station, ain't got enough money to go nowhere else, and waiting on your house to burn down so that they can get there inside of 3 minutes and put your house out. Feed them good so that they can go up in there and die with a smile on their face trying to save your cat. He said you look fat. Look, you can say it in a text message, but you say that in person, it's gonna be like, but I only got a 4-pack. I used to have a 6. Now, what y'all ladies call it? Dad bod. We got beer bellies now. We stopped trying to work out. We don't give a fuck. Look, Without a clear filter, you waste incredible amounts of time and energy on people who are fundamentally incompatible with you from the start. We're not saying that you need to be so detailed with your expectations that only 1% of Americans or 1% of people in the world actually meet your expectations. That's not what we're talking about. But you could curate it from 50% of the population down to maybe like 30% of the population so that you can kind of try to weed out some of the people that it's just not going to work out with. And this isn't about superficial things like height or a love for specific music. Because, ladies, y'all might find the love of your life with a man that is a foot shorter than you. It is what it is. He can't control his height, and society has stopped having men wear platform shoes. Platform shoes used to be a thing in the 60s and 70s. Men was wearing platform shoes. Now the women got platform stilettos. That used to be a man thing. We used to have the platform shoes with the goldfish in it. You remember that? With back in disco era. So instead of us being short, we put on some platform shoes. We have us some bell bottom pants with the glittery stuff on it, flashy, shiny shoes, Afro pick with the fist coming out of it. I mean, that used to be a man thing. Women took it over. It's funny. Dresses used to be a man thing too. Non-negotiables are the core values and absolute deal breakers essential for your long-term happiness in a relationship. And mama used to always say, if you have 80% of the expectations that you're looking for in a person met by the other person, the other 20%, as long as you can tolerate it, let it ride. Let it ride. Because nobody's going to be inherently perfect. They might be good enough, but they're not going to be 100% perfect. But they should not be the type of person where you have to adapt your expectations to be reasonably tolerable with their bullshit. See, he said he had a pair of 3-inch heels. That's what I'm talking about. And wait a second, before these young bucks start getting loose with it, y'all know cowboy boots have a 3-inch heel on them. Yes, sir. Go find your last pair of cowboy boots and look at that wide sole in the back. Look at that V-shaped gap between the heel of your shoe and the toe of your shoe, and you will find that you got a little block right here, and then the rest of the shoe look like this. That's a heel, my guy. You have a 3-inch lift on your damn cowboy boots. Just want you to know. Bell bottom pant, yep, bell bottom. But we would have one chain that might be $200 to $300 gold herringbone chain around our neck. That's it. That's it. Not no big ass 38-pound card chain made of gold and platinum that cost 50 grand. That's not what we did. We didn't do that kind of stuff. Got fractured vertebrae because we jumped and the chains broke our neck. This idea is starting to catch on, especially since I've been preaching about it for the last couple years. Daters are tired of ambiguity. So there is a new concept called loud looking that I talked to you guys about this time last year. And it was very essential for the ability to find the right person. What loud looking is all about being direct and transparent about what you're looking for from the very beginning of your relationship. If you're interested in kids, you're making sure that she knows you want to be a father. So if she's not interested in being a mother, she needs to just go ahead and go before you order the first drinks. If you ain't interested in kids, ladies, don't start talking about some maybe later in the future kind of stuff. Be serious. I am not interested in motherhood. So if you're not okay with that, you need to go ahead and crip walk on away from the table before you open your wallet. Just be real from the gate. Okay? According to a Tinder research, loud looking means daters are ditching the vague and getting vocal about their needs and their desires. Why do you think that this is? It's because it works. It saves a lot of time from the slow burn, heartaches, and then the unexpected discovery months down the line that you and your partner are on completely different pages about what truly matters. Usually because when you're in the honeymoon phase, you're conflict avoidant. Both of you are. Oh, I don't want to say anything because I love him. The relationship is new. I don't want to see him overbearing. But they are irking your damn nerves. 3 months into the relationship, when y'all good and settled in, y'all good and committed to one another, now you're going to put your foot down, but you have allowed this negative behavior for so long that it is hard to break those habits. Because the first thing that a person that does not respect your interests does, as soon as you say that you don't like what's been going on, the first thing they're going to say is not, okay, I'll stop it. Instead, they'll say, why you ain't complained about this before? Why you want to bring it up now? You've allowed it this whole time. What's wrong with it now? Right? Not acknowledging the fact that you have a problem with it, that you may have always had the problem with it and just developed the courage to say something about it. The fact that you said something about it, they want to defend the fact that you've never mentioned it earlier on. So being able to start off with your expectations prevents that type of scenario from happening. So what are these non-negotiables? They fall into a few key categories. First, you're looking at radical honesty. And this isn't just about not lying. It's about commitment to open, transparent communication, non-judgmental, non-resentment, non-retaliatory communication. He says, what 3 months into the relationship, I have been on half a dozen dates. Half a dozen, 6 dates at twice a month. It could be 3 months unless you're seeing them every day. And you making expectations on her. Yeah, okay, 6 days in, 6 dates in, you say half a dozen dates, 6 dates in. I tell you what, if she running 6 dates in, then she ain't worth it. She ain't worth it. If I express to you your responsibilities in the relationship 6 days in, and you run it, that saved me the trouble for getting rid of you. Vice versa. If a female laid down her expectations for me 6 dates into the relationship, and I wasn't about that life, and I decided I'm gonna run it, she dodged the bullet. But see, if this is the person that I want, when you lay down those expectations, I should be able to analyze those expectations. I should have been fishing for those expectations from the gate. And then when I recognize that I can handle that, that's when I would hit up with let it happen and be like, all right, let's run with it. He said, Morris Day. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. You gotta get up there though. You gotta get better than Morris Day. Come on now. Morris Day back there though. That's way back in the day though. You can hit me with like some Andre 3000 or something like that. But yeah, we have to recognize from way back, that if we know what we want, we know what we're looking for to some degree, we should be able to start off with the intro level of expectations. And if your partner is not willing to accept that requirement, that job requirement, it's like, well, no. And if you are the kind of person, because you're 70, I'm in my 40s, I should be able to curate. We had this thing, me and Mr. Pibbs was talking about it, the girlfriend application. It has all of the requirements of the girlfriend. If you down for that, you sign it, and you the girlfriend. And there's a stipulation in there with room for promotion to the wife, where we have a wife contract. You will get a status evaluation every 6 months until you qualify for the wife status. If you don't get promoted, that's because you ain't doing your damn job. He said, but it's just me. That's you. He said, if you making expectations on the sixth date, I'll start to wonder if I want a mother or a wife. Well, no, if you start, but okay, so uniformly speaking, both sides have their own individual expectations for the relationship. There are things that he wants that she must do, and there are things that she wants that he must do. And the thing is that men always ask, whatever she wants, he will try to do. World on a silver platter. Bring her the sun, the moon, and the stars. Whatever he can do. All of this effort of declaration of servitude. And from her, I look cute. Now, what you got to understand is unconditional surrender is unhealthy for either side. You have things you want to accomplish in this relationship, whether it is financial success, parenthood, long-term relationships. You have goals that you want to accomplish in this relationship. And as a responsible adult, what you want to get out of this deal needs to be put down on the table before an agreement is made. You are not supposed to add any ups onto the deal on the back end after the contract is signed. Because take, for example, before we move on, take, for example, all those passport bros that go to other countries to go pick up those wives. They bring those wives to America. All the women think about in America is, oh, he went and manipulated this girl into coming to live with him, blah, blah, blah. But think about this, though. It cost him about $4,000 to get out there. Probably cost him 10 to 15 grand to stay out there. Plus however much it costs for him to keep his standard of living in America. Then it cost him $8,000 to bring her back, not necessarily including the $2,500 it cost for her to get her visa stuff together. He has to sign a contract with the United States government where no matter what happens between him and this woman, as long as she resides in America, that he will make sure that she has no less than $20,000 worth of resources every year until she gets the fuck back out of this country. Now, if he's providing for her standard of living, hey, he did his part. But if they break up and she go live somewhere else and she don't make that 20 bands, he got to cover the difference. Whether they get alimony in a divorce or not, that got nothing to do with divorce. Whatever she's getting from divorce is in addition to what he's got to give her for the U.S. government. Because he's signing a contract with Uncle Sam saying that if I bring this foreigner into this country, I will not let them be poor. That's a contract that you're signing. So when an American woman sees an American man with a non-American wife, he paid a lot of money for that, which required a sound decision. He had to know what he was getting himself into. We don't make those sound decisions when we're dating one another here in America. Because, I mean, pick her up. If she don't get out the car, take her home. If she don't get a Uber, she can stay. If she don't ever leave the house, get her a key. But do you ever know if she's worth it? You don't put in the effort to go find out. Your whole goal is to convince her to stay because the sex is good, because the quality time is good, and sometimes she does stuff that's convenient for you. Not saying that all women do this, but that's the mentality that men have, is that, all right, as long as I can get some of the stuff that I'm looking for. But then, as we've heard, most of the time when the men complain on Sunday nights, she stopped sleeping with him. She stopped giving him the attention that he deserved. And now he's starting to realize that the behavior that she was performing this whole time was unacceptable, but he used to allow it because at least he got laid. At least we can have angry sex. We're still having sex. That's not the mentality that you're supposed to have. So ask yourself, can you be your full, unfiltered self with the other person without fearing judgment? And can you have tough conversations with them, like finances? A relationship without this is built on sand. And the moment a tidal wave of trouble comes, that whole castle that you've been working on for all these many months is all washed away, and then you got to start all over again. They say a new wife comes with mother-in-law. Yeah, yeah, I do. But you know, part of that $20,000 a year is that you send the money back to her mother-in-law. Her mother-in-law can stay her ass over there. If you established her an account, how much is that? $1,200 a month. You establish her an account. You put $1,200 a month into the account. She wired that $1,200 a month back to her mom and them. That's the dowry. That's expensive as hell. And I'm not trying to say that that is in any way, shape, or form fiscally responsible. But let's think about this. You signed a contract with Uncle Sam anyway. What she do with her money is her business. If you was putting that $1,200 a month in her pocket and she was sending that back to her family, you could get you a damn good-looking woman that will do whatever you need her to do. Partly because you're paying her to do it, but the fact is that the money that $1,200 a month is still cheaper than the cost of an American woman. Ironically, even though you're still feeding her, clothing her, and everything else to that effect, she's not wasting extra money because she's building everything around the house to save the money because you're giving her $1,200 to send her family back home. She might go get a second job so that she can help contribute to the house so that when you give her the $1,200 to send back home, she can put the $1,200 back into the house. Let you tell an American woman, date me, you get $1,200 a month every month. She gonna be like, where my money, nigga? She not, she not gonna give a damn about nothing else. I'm here. I did my part. Where my money? That's it's not the same. It's like, oh no, he's doing so much for my family. Let me do something for him. That's not the reciprocation. He said, mother-in-law live with both of you. Mama can't come to America. That's why you're going over there to get your girl and bring her back over here. Mama got to find her a husband to come to America. So unless you got a daddy or a grandpa that you're gonna marry the mama off to, mama gonna have to stay where she at. Now, if you go move into that country, you go live with them. Yeah, you're gonna live with her and her family. I don't know. I kind of like the extra space that I got where I'm at. I kind of feel like I think I've had 5 conversations with 5 different neighbors over the course of the last 6 weeks. And that's the most I've ever talked to anybody in this area. I'm trying to tell you. Like, is that not you go to Asia with that nonsense? Boy, they're gonna be letting themselves in. You're gonna have 3, 4, 5 different people talking to you every day. You're gonna have 30 people talking to you all the way down the street. You're gonna have 15 people following you home every day, and none of them is your woman. Yeah, I understand. It's a different culture. Now, second is going to be emotional availability because this one is huge. An emotionally available partner is present. They can communicate their feelings. They don't shut down during conflict talking about something, nothing's wrong, ain't nothing wrong with me. You should already know what's wrong. They don't just ghost you, ignore you for hours and days. They're willing and able to build an emotional connection. And if you feel like you're constantly trying to solve a puzzle just to know what your partner is feeling, you are dealing with an emotionally unavailable individual. And that's a grueling battle that develops a large quantity of resentment. Let her ignore me. You've got until I pay for this plane ticket. And your behind is going back where you came from. We not talking about it a second time. You silent treatment me. even if you playing and you on the next flight back to where you came from, I ain't trying to front. Try that with an American one. You ain't gonna make me go nowhere. And watch when she get in that car and drive off. Go to work today, come back with no house here tomorrow. I'm not putting up with emotional manipulation. Too old for that shit. Because this is the third thing that you need to pay attention to. I demand mutual respect. And this seems obvious, but often it gets lost in the initial chemistry, the honeymoon phase. Respect isn't about being polite. I don't have to always tell you please when I want to do something. I also don't have to yell at you about it when I tell you to do something. But at the same time, I could show you the respect of telling you thank you after you've done it. I appreciate you. Maybe give her a hug or a kiss or something like that and let her know that I appreciate it. But it is how that you are going to treat someone else especially during a disagreement versus how they treat you. Do y'all honor each other's non-negotiable expectations? How do y'all talk about each other in your lives and with your families? Especially your exes and waiters and other individuals that you might not even know that you're being talked about with. Disrespect in any of these areas is a massive red flag. So I know when y'all are out there, y'all are one of them situationships, y'all been connected to one another for a minute. You don't really know where y'all at right now, but you don't really feel comfortable about asking. And when you walk up and somebody misinterprets y'all as being a couple, you not knowing if you are a couple will look over at the other person and wait for them to accept it as it is what it is. And if they don't reject the statement, you feel pleased that you have been acknowledged as a partner. But if somebody comes up and throws down the couple and you look over and before you can look over, she, hell no. And you looking like, damn, it ain't that serious. Could have been respectful about it. That's my point. That's a red flag. They're not willing to acknowledge you for the position and role that you play in their life. You don't need to be in their life. Fourth on the list is going to be accountability. And that's why we talk about non-negotiable expectations for behavior, because you're accountable for yourself, but you're accountable for the person that you with. And this is the ability to own your mistakes, including the mistake of choosing the wrong person for yourself. Does this person always have an excuse or a blame for others for the problems that they're involved in? A partner who can't take accountability cannot grow. If you claim that you're a 10, you are not willing to evolve. You cannot tell me that you have improvement and that you're perfect at the same time. You might be satisfied with who you are. You might have become perfect examples of the man that you want to find. But you cannot claim that you are perfect for someone else when it is subjective to the other person. However, if you can realistically analyze yourself from a third person perspective with full understanding of your own flaws, if you are able to say that you believe that you should be identified as a 10. First question is why? Because I can find 3 flaws about you right now. Second question is, what do you plan on improving about yourself? Because I would be more respectful to you if you told me you was a 10. And I would ask you, without even having to identify what they are, do you have anything about you that you know, whether you want to or not, could potentially change and provide you with a better way to go? If there's something about you that could change, the quantity of time you spend on video games, the quantity of time you spend at work, the quantity of time you don't spend at work, the quantity of effort you spend on your health, exercising, the uh, uh, effort that you put into your ability to get some rest, insomnia. Just upgrade your wardrobe from 30 years ago. There's something about you that you could change. A lot of people want to lose some weight and gain some height and grow some hair. There's something about you that you could change, especially if it's something inside of your control. The question is, how can you call yourself perfect if you can identify that you're flawed as well? You cannot tell me that a brand new Tesla with a broken door and a busted wheel is a brand new Tesla. It's not a brand new Tesla. It's just a low miles damaged Tesla. It ain't perfect. But I mean, if you're going to reduce the price on it, I'll take it. People who cannot take accountability for themselves, they can't grow. They'll repeat the same mistakes and you'll catch on to the cycle after a while. And once you catch on to that cycle, you have to find a way to put a stop to that or put a stop to them. Here we go. But you're on the wrong day because you're supposed to tell me about it on Tuesday when we start talking about the cryptocurrency. He said, you're ready for the crash. Telling people to sell all your stocks before 26, go all in on gold and silver. All right, so he's saying to go in on gold and silver. Now, he's also the same person who said on Tuesday that when somebody jumps in and interrupts your conversation and starts telling you to sell, and buy something else, that's the one person you're supposed to run away from. So I'm just going off of your logic, bro, logic. Let's just talk about this real quick, that it is not fiscally responsible to put all your eggs in one financial basket. If you want to invest a larger quantity of new revenue into gold and silver, by all means, go and do that. But if you have already established a genuine revenue stream off of the stocks that you have, cash dividend stocks, like I told y'all on Tuesday, you getting $5,000, $10,000 a month off of those stocks. Don't sell those stocks. Leave them stocks alone and take some of the profits and go and invest you in some gold and silver. Take some of the profits and go invest in Bitcoin and stuff. But don't take your principal and sell off your principal to go follow some stupid idea about going to grab you a whole bunch of gold because it's going to be $25,000 by the end of February kind of situation. And you still have to sell the gold while it's high so that you can get the money off of the money that you put up there. So it does not make a difference to go run off there and go and sell off all your stuff. He says stocks is in a bubble. Stocks are not in a bubble. That's what you don't understand. Stocks have tanked. They're at the bottom of the seesaw right now. The only place that they can go is up. They're not getting any lower than what they are. These undervalued stocks that I gave y'all are as low as they're going to get. Probably Oracle might go down in value if they don't buy off TikTok, and Tesla's going to keep going down in value because they're not selling as many Tesla cars. But out of the other 50-something stocks that's up there, real estate, oil, gas, I mean, not gas, healthcare, I got all kinds of stuff up there that is areas that are, as long as the government's not shut down, not negatively impacted. That not gonna have to worry about no bubble. If we were at a peak where all the stocks that I was talking to you about were like $1,000 a share kind of stuff, then yeah, we would be at a peak. But it's at $6, $7, $9 a share. That's the lowest these stocks have ever been. It's at the bottom of the apex. So if this is a bottom, this is a bubble, this is a bubble of negative value. And when that negative value pops, it is going to spike. And you're telling them to run before the spike. That's a bad decision. That's a bad decision. Bubble gonna pop. He said never. Special shout out to a board gamer. I see you. He said never everything in the one basket. That's right. Oh, buy toilet paper and adult diapers. He get not that's a good idea. Get you some stock and some toilet paper. He said, well, Tesla sells more cars than anybody. Let's find that out. I want to see. I don't know. I want to see. Does Tesla sell more cars than non-electric cars? And we're gonna get back on this relationship discussion in a second. Or well, let's do vehicles because they sell more than cars. Does Tesla sell more vehicles than um all other uh, vehicle dealers? I want to find this out real quick because I strongly believe that that was an overstatement. That was a broad spectrum statement. I don't think that they do. They might be one of the higher selling electric car companies in America simply because of the tariffs, but I don't think so. According to this, no, Tesla does not sell more vehicles than all other automakers or dealers combined. It is not the largest automaker by total vehicle sales. It is a major player, especially in the electric vehicles, but it isn't uh, the dominant one. Its shares is still a small fraction of global auto sales. So in 2023, Tesla delivered about 1.8 million vehicles worldwide. Uh, Global lightweight vehicle sales in 2023 were on the order of 86 to 96 million vehicles, which is almost 1% if of Tesla involvement. So Tesla's volume was only a few percent of the total market. Toyota sold over 8.5 to 10 million vehicles, so they're not outselling Tesla. Toyota is outselling Tesla several times more than Tesla's volume, and the largest of any single manufacturer, which technically would make Toyota the dominant one in automobiles. Many other brands, such as Volkswagen, Honda, and Ford, each sold several million vehicles, all contributing to a much larger combined total than Tesla. Tesla is among the top global manufacturers of battery electric vehicles and has been the EV largest market by annual volume, though competition from BYD and other industries is increasing. Individual Tesla models like the Model Y have ranked as the world's best selling single car model in recent years, but that is very different from outselling all of the brands or dealers combined. So just to give you an insight on some of what you were saying, I just wanted to go through that. Oh wow, and then we got a lot of stuff. Um, Respect your opinion, but wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I can't be wrong about facts, but I mean, you can always put up the statistics and show me. Is that how did I misunderstand you? They sell batteries for clean energy. Uh, okay, so selling batteries for clean energy is not the original. Oh, you're saying Tesla sells more than cars. Okay, so I misunderstood your assessment. You're saying that they sell more than just cars, not they sell more cars than everybody else. Okay. I figure. I figure. I get to your comment eventually. I figure. I was reading the thing because before somebody come and tell me about Tesla, I'm trying to get me. I'm just you know what I mean. But yeah, they do sell batteries. They sell more than batteries. They got robots now. They got self-driving cars. They got all kinds of stuff. But the thing is that they stock from vehicles went down. They lost shares for vehicles. They're going to get their stocks back from robots and batteries and everything else that they got going on. But the money that they was making off of selling vehicles negatively impacted their shares. So this is the lowest that it's ever going to be. It's going to go back up. And that was my point instead of what you're referring to as, check the comments. I see you. No, I'm outpacing you by far because I had to give you the information that you did not know. Exactly. My man. Simple. Whew. I told y'all when the people come through on Twitch, we'll talk to them. Gold, $4,256 an ounce, going to be 5,000. Then the U.S. will revalue gold, take it to 25,000 an ounce. Okay, I'll cover it. I will. Look, confirm it, Michael, because you've been following gold all year. Confirm it. Verify it. He's saying that they're going to win. What date do they plan on revaluing the gold? I'll cover that show maybe next week or the week after. One of these days, I'll cover it. I'm gonna cover your crypto discussion first, and then I'll cover your gold discussion after that. If I can verify it, then I'll talk about it. He said gold at what price? I don't know. I mean, anything is possible, but I don't see gold jumping up to $25,000 next month or the month after that. Eventually, over the next 3 years, possible. Over the next 60 days, I don't see it happening. But I got to go do some research on it, and I'll find out. Right, Michael's not in the next several years. Exactly. I don't see it happening this year. I don't see it happening, but there have been no policy changes that I have heard about that would make gold $25,000 before the end of tax season. I haven't heard about it, but I'll go look. Yeah, I can see it $6,000 by next year. I could see it at $7,000 by this time next year, but I can't see it at $25,000 before March. The dollar is not gone. The penny is gone. The dollar is not gone. The dollar maintains. Digital currency is here, but while we are mainstreaming digital currency, the dollar still exists primarily as the US currency officially. Unofficially, we are about 85 to 90% digital. The dollar is gone when there's no more money in the ATM machines. The dollar is gone when there is credit only, debit and credit only. That's when the dollar is gone. The dollar's not gone. It's just less used by the average person. So, like Michael said, maybe in a few years when we've officially dissipated from the usage of cash, then yeah, maybe we will see more gold hit. I would say China will invade Taiwan in 2020. You already know Taiwan is part of China. That's what they keep saying. Most banks won't take coins unless it's rolled up. Yeah, yeah. But most banks won't turn away your cash money neither. They're not gonna tell you, this is debit only. Yeah, I know they $37 trillion in debt. Thank Donald Trump for what was that billions of dollars worth, $600 billion worth of wall building that he doing over there in Texas. It's not, no. It's not in the history of, because you got to remember we were at 300 trillion during COVID. We've been holding this nice balance of 30 trillion since Donald Trump last reign, and it went up to 37 trillion because 300 or 600 billion of it went towards the defense bill and a lot of other things that's been changing along the way as well that brought it up to 37 trillion. But it's not in but none of that has anything to do with gold blowing up and American dollars going away, nor does it have anything to do with gold going away in the next 60 days. or gold going up to 50 grand or something like that, 25 grand in the next 60 days. That's not logic, bro. Logic. That's not logic. If that was a thing that was going to happen, in all honesty, that would be all over the news over the last 60 days, that in the next 60 days, gold is likely to skyrocket. And I ain't heard nothing about Michael been following. He ain't heard nothing about it neither. If that was a fact, Michael would have been the first person to tell me 3 months ago that gold is likely to go up in January 26, and I would have covered the topic before November of 26, so that everybody who had money could have went and put their money towards gold before everybody else put their money towards gold, so that you could at least sell higher than what you bought in. Even if it don't get what you want to get, you get more than what you got in, because that's the whole purpose of turning a profit. Is I'm not going to worry about the national debt. Your children will pay for it, so don't worry about it. Look, real shit. My kids ain't got to pay for it. My grandkids can deal with this bullshit, because me, I'm probably going to be in a different country doing this podcast anyway. Traveling the world with a tax exempt homestead in America. I don't even give a fuck. Right, 1997, we in 2026, come January, right? That's almost 30 years. A week worth of groceries cost $57. And what can you get for food today for $57? A lap dance and a shot. That's what you can get for $57. But that don't mean that we're going to go straight to $25,000 worth of gold in 2 months. I don't see it. But if it happened, I'll be able to eat my words. Finally, we have a shared core value. That's something that we need to start putting our mindset into, because we have not been covering that for a while. I mean, no, dollar is not trash. Dollar can be burned to light trash. Dollar is usually burned to light cigarettes. Dollars are used to put in the cracks of asses so that you can get entertainment. Dollars are used to be made into straw so that you can snort cocaine, but dollars are not trash. There are so many things you can do with dollars. You got people who use dollars as toilet paper, but it is not trash. That's the one thing it's not. Not one person will throw money in the garbage, literally. Because if anybody found out that there was money in the garbage, there'd be garbage all over the ground trying to get that money. Smearing the mustard and mayonnaise off of it, come to find out that that wasn't mayonnaise. He says, a meeting, not much up. I just write her an IOU. Shoot. You brought a pen and paper to the show. You came more prepared than me. I was going to give her a verbal handshake. Now, the shared values is a big one. It's about being aligned on life's fundamentals. So I'm talking about your views on family. So women, if y'all don't want to have children, make sure that y'all talk about that in the first 3 dates. Careers ambitions. If y'all want to be successful alpha boss ladies, make sure that y'all understand that on the first few dates. Financial responsibility. If you are looking to be a payday, make sure that you say that. Lifestyle choices. If you're a clubber, don't lie to a man and say, oh, I like to travel, when your ass don't ever go nowhere. You wish you could travel, but your ass can't afford it. Tell the truth. If he can afford to take you somewhere one time that you can't get there by normal means of transportation, you'll be greatly appreciative of it. But it is not like you are expecting him to take you somewhere every 30 days, every 90 days to say that you're in a happy relationship, because that's abusive and that's wasteful, and no man should accept that. But put your expectations on the table. You don't need to be clones. You don't need to be the exact same person. But if one person dreams of a quiet life in the suburbs and the other person wants to be a nomadic artist in a van, that's a fundamental clash that's almost impossible to resolve. You understand? They said Discord for chats. Well, no, we're actually live streaming on multiple platforms. We're on Twitch, we're on Twitter, We're on 2 different versions of YouTube. We're going to be on TikTok coming soon as America owns half of TikTok. So we're all over the place. We are all over the place. So they can see the comments that you put in the comment section that I put up on the screen. That's right here for the 16:9 and up there for the 9:16. But the comments that you put up there that was a little bit inappropriate because you got frustrated while I was reading, that I was the only person who saw them. Me and the people that are watching me on Twitch's side. So, I make sure that y'all are able to communicate with one another when you keep your comments appropriate. But when your comments get inappropriate, I'm not going to entertain that. I'm not going to block you because, your opinion is your opinion, and I did misunderstand your statement. But at the same time, you got to be respectful. Also understand, I got 8 screens up here, and if I'm reading off of one screen, I ain't paying attention to the comment section. When I get back to the comment section, I'll make sure that I address all your comments. So if I was mistaken, I'll correct myself if I was mistaken on something. But if I'm not wrong, I'm not wrong. Like this man gonna try to make it seem like gold is gonna be the next best thing, like 1999, everybody gonna die. And I'm not falling for that, bro. I'm not falling for that. That we will build our heaven on earth together. And if we don't, I am not gonna be broke on earth. That's what's gonna happen. He said, so if you put $15,000 in a safe with $15,000 worth of gold in 1973, and you open the safe today in 2025, how much would you have lost holding cash? Well, hold on. I wouldn't put $15,000 worth of cash in a safe. I would put $15,000 worth of cash into a 20% return on investment, which would then stay there long enough from hold on, you said 1973, $15,000 on 20% interest since 1973 will be far more valuable than the damn $4,000 an ounce worth of gold that you got right now. If you would have bought $15,000 worth of gold in 1973 when gold was $200 an ounce and it's now $4,000 an ounce, you might have like $150,000. You have $15,000 at 20% interest, you might have almost the same since 1973. If you ain't never took the money out, and that steady 20% average return every year since 73, you might be somewhere around the same area. Because gold has, on average, over the course of the last 57 years, only gained about 28% interest over the years, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Michael. It's somewhere between 20 and 80%. It ain't that. It's not that huge. It's a slow grind, but it's a steady grind. But an annual percentage yield, you would be doing a lot better with stock option than you would be with gold. The only reason why people tell you don't go with gold, yes, sir, that's right. I'm talking to you about being disrespectful. You need to behave yourself on this show. Yeah, exactly. Yes, the way we chat live, you chat. What happens is, so when you chat and it comes up, and then it goes right there, and then you see it, and then everybody else sees it, and that's how we chat. Is there ways for people to come up on the show in real time? Yeah, there are. But some of the comments that you made earlier, I'm not putting that link back in the comment section right now. None of my chats are inappropriate. Yeah, they were. The ones that you didn't see go up on the screen, that's the ones that were inappropriate. Those ones I skipped over. He said a house in 1973 was $32,000. What's a house worth today? Right. So $32,000 house right now, probably $320,000. So would you have saved more money? Would you have made more money off of buying $15,000 worth of gold in 1973? Or would you have made more money by buying a $32,000 house in 1973? Think about it. Think about it. Gold is one way to make money. Silver, platinum, uranium, lithium, one way to make money. And then you have stock options, you have investment opportunities. Other than that, like I told you guys about investing in um, tax liens, which is the taxation on land that's owned. I told you guys to put money toward invest in legal services where people need money to pay for their legal fees. You got a surefire case, you invest the cost and run the case, and then you get a percentage back off of that case. There's other ways that you can make money than just gold. Gold is just one avenue. Well, you say there are charts. Uh, there are charts you can view it. Well, I mean, charts about what? I'm looking. I can see what's on the charts. Not a question for a homie. Well, we gonna see. We gonna see. I'll do some digging after the show, and I'll cover it in a couple of weeks about the gold because the first thing we're gonna cover is the crypto because I want to go ahead and I debunk myths at least once a week. So that's gonna be one that I'm gonna debunk. That's what we're gonna be. That's what we're gonna be covering. Is in 1970 in Washington, pulling all the silver coins from the washer and dryer. Is it? No, it's live. I get it. You have a 3-second delay, so I get it. Then you get it. Then you hear from me about it. So we're almost having a real time conversation. Can you look at it now and then tell them? No, they read it right here. They see what you said when I put it up there on the screen. If it's appropriate comment, I put it up there on the screen. They'll see it. And if you're watching 16 by 9, it's right here. So they'll see what you said. And if they want to tell you something, they'll come talk to you. He said, just talk about the last 6 months. How much has the dollar lost? 10%. That's just in 6 months. So, still not proving your point, bro. Still not proving your point. The dollar can continue to lose monetary value, but that doesn't mean that gold is going to be $25,000 in January. Oh, okay. You talk about house value versus gold value. Yeah. All right, now you're on the same page as us. Yes. So the house values are actually increasing a whole lot faster than gold. Gold is a stable investment, but the more volatile investments are the ones that have the more gains. I'm not going to say that gold isn't a good thing to invest in. I'm just saying that gold is not the only choice. What's the true value of a dollar? Ain't it like $1.12 what they cost to print it? It costs more money to print a dollar than it's worth. He's the same page as us. Nah, y'all slow as hell because you try to co-sign him, trying to make it seem like okay, gold went from 200 to 4,000 in almost 50 years, and a $32,000 house with a $320,000 in the same period of time, and you telling me that over 100%, over 1,000% return on a house over 50 something years is not as good as way less than that in gold. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. The method to your met, the gold is stable investment because it has a slow, stable increase. Real estate is a roller coaster, but there's high profits involved. Stock options are a roller coaster, but there's high profits involved. Bitcoin is a terrible roller coaster. It's like the Sheikra. It's a terrible roller coaster. It's like the worst roller coaster of Six Flags. It's like the Harry Potter ride. It's like the Final Destination swing. But after that, there's high profits involved. Oh, so you're 5 minutes behind. Okay, well, as long as you're 5 minutes behind, I'm glad to know that. So when you catch up, then we'll talk. He says, so then your Big Mac goes from $8 to $15 from one Big Mac. That's happened already. And then people in Big Mac get you all wrong. Yep. Well, I'm waiting on you to say it. You talk about you waiting on me to read the shit. I'm gonna get back to reading my other shit because I still got 40 pages left worth of information I gotta talk about because we was over here talking about relationship shit. Y'all talking about money and finance. That money and finance was Tuesday show. Today we talk about how you can find you a female so she can be sitting on your lap typing for you instead of you over here typing this thing yourself. The one thing about gold is that it doesn't need repairs. You're right. And one thing that best for you is that you put your gold on some insurance so that when the people come walk up in your house and walk off with your gold, that you can get your money back off of it. Because if you don't put insurance on it, it's just gone. But then if you put insurance on it, the amount of money that you pay per month on insurance to cover the gold as the gold gets stolen typically exceeds the profit margin of the gold by the time you go to call yourself selling the gold to make some profits off of it, because the gold is only worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for it. And the amount of money that you made off of it is the amount of money that you get back off of selling it after you've already bought it. So whatever you paid for it versus whatever you get from it, that difference, that's the only profit that you make. And that profit is spaced across the timeline of when you had it versus when you sold it. Now, when you think about the quantity of capital you could have gotten off of a piece of property versus the quantity of capital that you get off a piece of gold, a lot more people lean towards real estate because, I mean, you're going to get more money over a longer period of time. And you can't do nothing with the gold, but I mean, damn, you could pull 100 grand out of a house in a month. Silver will cover gold if you have the right insurance policy. Yes, you can. You can have it stored at your house. You can have it stored at a safe or a vault or a safety deposit box. We covered a show about gold. We covered a show about getting insurances. We covered a show about the type of coverages that you would need to have, storage facilities, erosion factors. We covered all that stuff on a show way back when. Yeah, you can store it at your house, but most people don't get insurance when they store it at their house. So if somebody go and rob your house, you don't have the stuff on insurance. It's just gone. Yeah, but anything you got into a locked-in safe at your house, got insurance on it, it will be covered. If they break the lock and run off with your stuff, you can get your money back based off of the insurance policy that you get, not based off the value of the gold that you have. So yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, most houses have private property insurance included into the mortgage because that's a liability towards a property deed. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about property insurance. We're talking about insurance on the gold, where you register and insure the gold so that if somebody steals your gold, you get your money back, or at least whatever the value is about the gold. Yeah, I know I'm not lying. I'm not wrong. I do my research before I come to the shirt. I know you agreeing with me. I know you're agreeing with me, but then I haven't seen a property. Okay, so you might be right about them including coverage of gold in your private property insurance as an additional ability, but at the same time, uh, initially they just cover the house on the deed tax. No, it's a lag. That's what you don't understand. I'm not 5 minutes behind. You're 5 minutes behind. So what happens is you sent the comment, I got it. I saw it. I put it up on the stream. Then when it gets to you, your comment just showed up. So in real time, I'm responding to your comment as it popped up on my thing, but you put it up 5 minutes ago. From the time that you see your comment on the screen. Not because I got it 5 minutes ago. It's because you saw it 5 minutes after I got it. You're lagging. It is a deliberate delay to reduce frame dropping. I can't control it. That's how they set up the system over there on Twitch. But you are behind the podcast by about 5 minutes. I'm not behind the podcast. I'm getting the information in real time. I put it up there. Y'all get it after I got it. Let them take 5 minutes to sink in, Mike. Hashtag like and subscribe, y'all. Like and subscribe. So how do you guys figure out your non-negotiable expectations for behavior? You want to look back at your past relationships. What were the friction points? Look, he sent that 5 minutes ago. So let him marinate on it for 5 minutes. Oh, Lord, here we go with the Bitcoin thing. He said, so Bitcoin can go 100,000. Why can't gold go? And why is all central banks buying so much of it if dollars are so good? It doesn't. First of all, they've been buying up gold for a long period of time, and the valuation of gold is not going to change nothing as far as the valuation of dollars. Second of all, Bitcoin spiked because Donald Trump and Elon Musk was tag teaming together when Donald Trump got into office, and all of this push for blockchain equipment and everything to that effect in the executive orders was some of the things that fueled the Bitcoin market. All of the crypto stuff that they was getting involved with Donald Trump and Elon Musk at the beginning campaigns between January and March of 2025. But see, when Donald Trump and Elon Musk got a divorce, Bitcoin dropped. So when the bills was passed by Trump that shut down a lot of the tech stuff, crypto was impacted by that, bro. And those folks that bought in that crypto when I told them to at 50 bands got as much as 150 bands out of it within 3 months. And then it went all the way back down to 80. So when you was, crypto, and then anybody who was in it at the beginning of this year, looking at it right now, looking at like a $50,000 decrease, $30,000 decrease on their investment. Pissed off right now. And then you saying, oh, gold gonna spike. The only thing I can tell you is that if it ever does hit 25,000, it's not gonna do what crypto did and go all the way back down to where it was 30 years ago, and then slowly creep back up the way Bitcoin has spiked to 65 and dropped all the way down to 20,000 and then started creeping back up. It ain't gonna, that gold won't do that. Gold stay on a steady incline. So if it does get to 25, anybody that's owning it at 4,000 an ounce, when it blow up to 25,000 an ounce, you got a little bit of time to sell it because it ain't gonna go back down to 4,000 again. But you're not gonna have quote unquote extra money until you sell the gold. You have to sell it at 25,000 to have a profit. Because on paper, you can have whatever you have on paper, but it is not accessible to you until you sell it. So as we were talking about with those friction points, what did you tolerate in that last relationship in hindsight that made you miserable? You want to make sure that you write these things down. Seriously, take a minute and list like 5 to 10 things that you absolutely will not compromise on. That's one of the first things you're going to be doing with your non-negotiables. And then once you have this list, you must communicate them early and stay consistent with it throughout your relationship. If you're the kind of person that's interested in having children and you're dating a person that talk about she don't want no kids, you make sure that she know that you're going to have kids with the person that you're in a relationship with. So if she doesn't want to be that person, she need to relocate her position. Hold on, he say gold usually moves 1 to 10 a week. So right now you're watching gold move from 40 to 50 to 60 in a day. So what's going on behind the scenes that we don't know about gold doesn't move like that, right? Okay, we with you on that. And I'm with you on Michael. Michael said preparing for a war, but at the same time, I'm not seeing it going from 4 to 25,000. I'm not seeing it going from 4 to 25. I'm not seeing it do that. I'm not seeing it go up 5 times more than what it 6 times more than what it's 6.5 times more than what it's worth right now. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that. Gold is on a steady incline. I'm not seeing a massive spike. But I'll go double check, like I told you before. When I find the information that verifies what you said, I'll cover it on the show. So you can weave these non-negotiable expectations for behavior into conversations naturally. Instead of an interrogation, you got to ask open-ended questions. For example, instead of asking, are you emotionally available? You can ask, how do you usually handle stress in relationships? This is how you're able to assess their ability to really interact with tough questions. Instead of what are your financial values, try what's a long-term goal that you're saving for right now, right? Vacation, retirement, death, what are you saving for? The next life, what are you saving for? Their answers will reveal a lot about who they are, especially their passions and their hobbies, their interests. When they reach that goal, what are they going to do with that money? Most importantly, don't compromise on this list out of the fear of loneliness. Every time you bend on a non-negotiable expectations, you're betraying your future self. Sticking to your non-negotiable expectations for behavior is an act of profound self-respect. It isn't being picky, it's being wise. It's the ultimate filter that saves you from endless heartache, because while your partner might be happy in the relationship, you will not be happy in a relationship because you caved on your expectations. Then you suppressed those expectations just so that you won't be alone. He said, time to thin the herd. Exactly. So let's talk about these dating apps, because for many, they feel less like a path to love and more like a recipe for burnout. And the problem is more people use them to zero strategy. And it's a zero-sum game. So they throw a few random photos, write a lazy bio, swipe on anything that moves, and they wonder why they're not getting quality matches. If you want to succeed, you need to treat it like a marketing campaign where the product is you. This is going to be hack number 2, the strategic dating overhaul. I told you these guys about this before. You have to first create a profile, a more effective profile. You have about 3 seconds to grab somebody's attention. Your photos are the most important part. If you have blurry photos, group shots where you're impossible to find, or a photo holding a fish from 5 years ago, delete them now. You need to take high quality, clear, more recent photos that tells a story of who you are today, not that sexy photo of what you looked like back when you were in college when you're retired now. The first type of photo you need to take is going to be a headshot. It's going to be a clear, well lit photo of you from chest up. So ladies, y'all don't need y'all titties in the shot. I know I love looking at them. I love looking at back shots. I mean, I don't have respect for you when you got your behind in the photo, but I like looking at it. But the fact is that that doesn't define who you are. Showing off your assets does not define who you are. Okay? Just from the chest up, smile, eye contact. So chest, shoulders, head, that's it. Cleavage shouldn't even be in a photo. Butt cheeks shouldn't be in a photo. Camel toe shouldn't be in a photo. Just saying. Typically, no sunglasses, but I mean, if you're wearing prescription glasses like I wear prescription glasses, you're going to do it and take that hit. They don't like it, fuck them. But this shows that you're open and confident. I don't know what is he talking about. Oh, he's back on that revaluation from 1970. So that's just a rerun. Oh Lord. Okay, so he said if you ain't fine or fit, don't be on dating apps. Well, ironically, more than 90% of the population is on dating apps, even if they're not fine or fit. And the other irony is that some people only select people that they're attracted to, which are probably people that are not attracted to them. So the algorithm is going to show them that the people that they're interested in, but it's not going to show them people that is interested in them. So while the list that you're swiping through are all people you're attracted to, you're not necessarily in a list of people that's attracted to you. I've also showed you guys scenarios where they are literally clickbaiting you into fueling their algorithm to keep the data running through their platform. So they're not necessarily aiding you in finding a partner. They're just continuously baiting you into staying on the app, which is a completely different scenario. So you have to put in your own footwork to get your relationship together. He said fleecing America. So number 2, the full body shot. Now, ladies, I'm going to tell y'all right now, the full body shot is key. Oh, wait, hold on. He said a moment ago, not more than 90%. Yeah, more than 90%. Outside of the areas of certain countries that don't have good internet service and technology to be on dating apps, the majority of uh, um, of the world is on social media. And social media includes dating apps, whether it's Facebook, because Facebook, you started off as a dating app, MySpace, LinkedIn started off as a business app, um, and then just about every other official dating app across the platform. Social interaction is where people pick up dating, and that's not. Oh, look, he's gonna say, "Oh, you're reaching." No, sir, I'm not reaching. I am by far not reaching because Facebook. You're not old enough. Facebook used to be an exclusive platform for college students. You couldn't even get on if you weren't a college student originally. And then they went public and blew up and knocked out MySpace when Facebook first came out. But it was a dating platform. It was hooking up college students with one another. So I'm not reaching. You just don't know your history because you're not from back there. And this is when you know that they don't know what they're talking about because here they come. Oh, you own on Facebook then? I don't have to be an owner of Facebook. I was one of the first people to join Facebook. I know what it was about. Matter of fact, when Facebook first came out, if you didn't have a profile photo, one of your other friends on your platform could put your profile photo up there. Whatever they thought, they put up there, and that's your profile photo. These days, they don't allow that. So my Facebook, my profile photo from way back when, that's a profile photo that somebody else selected and put up there. And I never changed it. So at the end of the day, I don't have to be the owner, but you'll devalue my facts with your opinion because you're going to say that because I'm not the owner of Facebook, I don't know what its model was. You don't even know about Facebook way back then. So now you're going to come and try to change the narrative and make it seem like you have a remote clue of what's going on right now when I've been covering this for 2 years. Yeah, I am not an owner. That's right. So that means that I can tell you I can tell you because I'm not promoting the product. I can tell you from a neutral position exactly what's going on. Oh, look, hey Michael, he just realized that I'm a college student. Oh dip. That's right. Tell him, Michael. Oh, I love when they be doing that. I don't think he know Radio Shack, bro. I don't think he know Radio Shack. I don't think he know nothing about way back when. I don't think he know nothing about way back when. He's trying to straw man topic the situation right now, but 90% of the population has access to social media, and social media is where dating apps occur. And oh, by the way, Facebook does have a dating platform segued into it after the primary platform was utilized for random wall posts. But yes, you have Tag, you have Babel Fish, you have Plenty of Fish, you have Asian meat, American meat, Christian meat, Black people meat. What was that I can't remember it. Economy, I think it was. There's so many of them out there. There's too many of them to name. And there's a plenty enough dating apps of all races, all genders, all sexual preferences, all ages. They probably got a teenage dating app out there right now that people are exploiting for all the wrong reasons. And that's the main reason why, yeah, I don't. He sound like a young buck. He sound like a young buck. He sound like a young buck. So when you start doing your full body shots, this is going to give a realistic sense of your style and physique. It shows that you're not hiding nothing. But this full body shot is not you doing a butt shot, ladies. This isn't the moment that you look back at it. That's not what this full body shot is. This is supposed to be you walking towards the camera, you know, naturally walking towards the camera. whatever kind of stroll that you have. If you got a buddy that's going to take photos with you as you walk towards the camera, and you have them take photos, and whichever one is the best step forward, you take that one and put that one up on the shot so they can kind of get an idea of what your height is. Have an object near you, like a mailbox, or not necessarily your mailbox, but like an object that kind of gives off a sense of how tall you are, so that that person can visualize themselves standing next to you, because if they want to be taller than you, or if they want you to be shorter than them, then they can identify hypothetically how tall you are in comparison to them, and they can kind of take that full body visual to give them an observation. Um, then you want to be going off of photos about your passions. This is photos of passions and hobbies. So ladies, y'all take it out your bio that y'all want to do trips around the world. Y'all like to travel. If you like to travel, you should take a photo of you hiking, painting, playing guitar, cooking, Mount Everest, Mount Fuji. Take some photos of you in different countries if you like to travel. If I see you in 3 different locations on your profile, then I can assume that you've been to 3 different countries. That's a traveler. You don't got to say you like to travel. You've been to more than one place. If I've never traveled, do you think that I'm going to have photos of me traveling? No. Do you think it's going to be in my bio that I love to travel? No. But if I've been to 52 different countries in the last 12 months, I should have 52 different photos from 52 different countries, at least one photo from each country. You could do the cooking naked, but that would have to be a private photo that you have premium users pay for. Then your fourth photo is going to be a social shot. This is going to be a picture of you with your friends or family members, and it shows that you have some type of a social life. It's not necessarily appropriate for you to be doing keg stands off of benches and dancing upside down on poles or nothing like that, but maybe you sitting somewhere or dancing with a group of your friends, or at a bonfire or something like that, hanging out on the beach or something like that with your squad, so that people can know that you got folks around you, that it ain't just you. You know what I'm saying? But you got to make sure that when you put that picture up there, that it is obvious that it's you. It is you. So the goal is for the camera to focus directly on you. That would be the best way to go. And that is yeah, so because if you have like a photo of like 30 people and they can't tell which one is you, that's not going to work. But let's say you got like the photo is pointing at you, you're in the middle of the photo, and then you got like 3 or 4 people over here and 3 or 4 people over there. That might make a little bit of sense, so that they know that that's you, so that they can see you out of the first 5 feet. Because another thing that people are going to pay attention to is, on a dating platform, they want to make sure that all of the photos on that platform is the same person. That way they know that they're not being trolled. So um, by having consistency of the style of person that you are right now today, they're able to see that you are a real person. He gonna keep saying it, bro. He gonna keep saying it. I'm not gonna believe it till I find the information. He hasn't given me a source of the information yet, but he's been talking about it for 3 days. I entertained him for a couple minutes about it, but after a couple minutes, there's no reason for me to continue arguing about it, because there's no facts. He's telling me the same thing over and over again, is that it's something that might happen eventually, and it's going to be an overnight change, but there's no facts that's building up to it. The only facts that he has is that 50 years ago, it used to be one way, and 50 years later, it's something else. But that doesn't mean that in the next 90 days that it's going to change. There's no evidence of that. He doesn't have a policy change. He doesn't have a government declaration. He doesn't have a news article. He doesn't have a new realization that we have an unexpected shortage of gold. Nothing leading to the Donald Trump declared that he's going to be reevaluating gold coming soon. Nothing has happened in the news that would indicate that this year is the year that we're supposed to reevaluate gold's value and potentially spike it up. Nothing. He hasn't put up nothing. He's just been saying it, but he's saying it with no facts. When I tell you something's going down, I provide you with enough facts, and then I tell you where to go find those facts so that you can go see exactly what I'm saying and verify exactly what I said. Now, you don't got to do what I tell you to do, but when I tell you that something's going down in your favor, you can take a look at it. And that's the excuse. Oh, our debt's out of control. Our debt does not impact the global value of gold. Our debt impacts our value of the US dollar. Our debt is out of control. Our government is out of control. The value of our dollar has gone down 10%. Our US dollar's value went down because of our lack of budgeting and lack of authority that is not neutral. But gold is not impacted by that. Gold is exclusively separate from that. Our economy is negatively impacted by the government, is negatively impacted by the dollar, and that negatively impacts the stock market. And when the stock market is volatile due to political pressures, people go to gold because gold is not impacted by our economy. Therefore, gold cannot spike to $25,000 just because the US government is not under control right now. If we have a second shutdown in January 26th, that's not going to be the trigger for gold to be $25,000. It's not. According to Donald Trump, they were supposed to be doing a platinum coin that was worth $1 trillion, which has nothing to do with gold either. They were going to have the U.S. Treasury mint a $1 trillion coin and then utilize that as financial collateral towards covering the debt. But a $1 trillion coin, they would have to make right now like 37 of those coins in order to cover the debt. But that's not gold though. A platinum coin to represent $1 trillion coin is not gold. That nothing about our debt has anything to do with gold. We are not buying up all the gold talking about we're going to leverage gold. In fact, the Donald Trump has changed the US dollar from being backed by gold to being backed by the faith of the good Lord. So our paper money has nothing other than an IOU behind it. So you can't say that gold is going to go up in value because of our debt. Our debt doesn't impact gold because our money doesn't back gold, and gold doesn't back our money. So since they're not intertwined with one another, the change in one doesn't impact the change in the other. There you go, Michael. Tell them. He said, I can't write $1 trillion call in value. So next thing that you're going to work on is your bio. So I like travel, food, and fun says nothing and attracts no one. In fact, it deters people because I like travel, food, and fun really reaches out as I'm a gold digger. Your bio needs personality. So you want to try a formula like saying, I am, identify whatever that role, who values, name one value, name another value, and then you can usually find me, name whatever specific activity that you're going to be doing. And then as a bonus point, if you mention a desirable trait in another partner, there you go. That's how you pull them in. So if they find that they meet that expectation or they're looking for those type of characteristics, you're able to connect with that person better. So how would that particular platform look? For example, bookworm graphics designer who values deep conversations and spontaneous road trips. You can usually find me lost in a sci-fi novel or trying to find the best espresso in city. Bonus points if you can teach me something new, whether it's chess or how to cook the perfect steak, which gives the other person a challenge. That gives them the ability to say, well, I know how to play chess or I know how to cook steak, and they can interact with you about either chess or steak as an icebreaker. See the difference? Fundamental change. It's a specifics and it gives someone a clear way to start the conversation. And you can also end with something like, ask me about the time I got chased by a monkey in Thailand, to make it easier for them to talk to you. Now, for part two, mastering your messages. Hey, hi, and what's up are conversation killers. They're lazy. They're almost automated. And opener is not as personalized as it actually needs to be. Look at their profile and comment on one specific thing. If they have a hiking photo, don't just say, I like hiking too. Say that hiking picture is incredible. Looks like, name the trail. Have you ever been on? Name another trail. And this shows that you paid attention and that you're initiating a real conversation. So the goal of messaging isn't to become pen pals. Your one and only goal is to get on a date, get first person encounter, personally in person. You want to be able to see them direct, face to face. The longer you text, the more you build up an idealized version of the person in your head, which often leads to extreme disappointment in real life because your imagination can run wild. After a few engaged messages to build rapport, you make your move. You say something like, I'm really enjoying the conversation. I'd love to continue it in person. Are you free for next week for coffee? Coffee, coffee. That's like $5 between the two of y'all. It's a direct uh, uh, action, and it moves things forward. Oh Lord, here we go. He says, no, sir. For every $1,000 they revalue gold, it pays off 1 trillion in debt times that by 37, and you're $135,000 an ounce for gold. Gold is a flip side of the monetary system. They will use it. No, they won't. No, they're not going to do that. So you show me where they have done that in the past to cover the deficit, and then you will give me the exact president and congressional office that did that the last time. Since you've been talking about it as if gold is intertwined with the US dollar. Show me who, because the world banks control most of this stuff. Show me who effectively decides what the value of gold is. And then you'll be able to see. That's not true. So what I think they'll do, okay, so that's your opinion, is up gold to $100,000. Completely unlikely. Use our stockpile to buy Bitcoin in the strategic reserves and link it to XRP, setting tokens for crypto. Don't think so. Don't think so. That's a push though. They might take the pile of gold that we have and put it towards cryptocurrency, because he did say that we were supposed to be establishing a sovereign wealth fund. I don't see them linking it to XRP, but we're going to be covering XRP and cryptocurrency next Tuesday. But no, that's not the case. And I'll be able to do a lot of research on it, cover the topic, and be able to prove you wrong on that. Is a flip side of the monetary system, dollar debt. The flip side is gold and silver, precious metals. No, it's not. Gold and silver are not intertwined with the US dollar. When the US dollar goes up, gold and silver does not go down. So gold and silver are not impacted by dollars. Investors will move out of the volatile stock market when the stock market is going up and down, which has nothing to do with the US dollar. It's actually more impacted on the quantity of money that people are willing to spend. Inflation increases the cost of items, which decreases the spending power of a dollar, which has nothing to do with the value of the dollar in and of itself, as far as currency exchange with other countries. So when the value of a dollar goes down 10%, that means you can buy less stuff in another country with US dollars. But if the value of a dollar goes down 10%, the $10 is still $10 in the United States. It is what it is. So dollars and gold are not intertwined with one another. So you show me facts on that, then I'll be able to entertain it further. But from what I see, you're completely mistaken. Dollar is debt, gold is not. That's right. So dollar is debt, gold is not. They're not the same. Gold does not back the US debt. And since gold does not back the US debt, gold is not going to be reassessed to offset US debt. The US dollar is where US debt comes from. And since the debt is going up, the value of the dollar is going down. So when the debt goes down, the value of the dollar goes up. When somebody announces that they're going to retie the US dollar back to gold, that's when I'll see the fluctuation of gold prices be directly impacted on the fluctuation of dollar value, which is directly impacted upon the quantity of debt that the U.S. dollar, the United States has. But right now, that's not the thing. They're not the same. That's like saying that iPhone is directly impacted by Samsung sales. It's not the truth. It is not the truth. Well, I appreciate you hanging out. You're like the only person that I've allowed to completely talk about something other than the main topic of the show. So the next time I entertain this topic will be on Tuesday. So Saturday and Sunday, we're not going to be talking about cryptocurrency at all. We're not going to be talking about taking over the world with gold and silver. We're going to be talking about the topics at hand. And on Tuesday, when I'm actually covering the Bitcoin scenario, and a couple weeks later, when we cover the gold topic, then you and I can spend a whole 2 hours talking about the gold topic. But no, that's not the information that you're giving me is not backed by facts. You're telling me your personal opinion, which I respect, but I'm not seeing any facts there. You're going off of hypotheticals where you cannot identify when the United States government actually changed the value of gold. You cannot identify which president changed the value of gold. And since Donald Trump separated gold from the US dollar, the value of debt to America and the value of gold are not impacting one another. So you are not showing me any facts that can prove that gold is going to be reassessed in 2 months. It's just a straw man topic that can be used to derail the main topic of the show, because I will appropriately debate you with a educational discussion, but you're not providing me with any facts. You're just saying the same things over and over and over again with no facts. But I've given you more than enough facts to show you that your information has too many loopholes in it that do not make sense. Once you make it make sense, then I might be able to lean on it. But when I get there and do my research on it, I can clearly tell you that I'm going to be able to disprove your information, not because I don't like you as a person, not because I think that you don't have knowledge, but because the facts show that the information that you displayed is not correct. So when we get there, I'll be able to show you what's up, and then we'll be able to debate it from there. Now, finally, part 3, hacking that algorithm. Yes, dating apps use algorithms, and you can make them work for you. So first, you have to be active during peak times, like every evening, every day. More often than not, you're going to have to be proactive on these dating apps. It's not something that you can skate past. If you're not out there, if you're not logging in on a regular basis, you'll find yourself being lost in the dust when it comes down to communicating with others. You'll find that you'll start losing traffic on your channel. You'll start getting less messages. So you have to be active. Second, you want to swipe thoughtfully. You don't want to swipe right on every overly sexualized photo on the platform, because the algorithm is going to put more people like that in your face. You want to be able to remember that if you swipe right on everyone, the app might see you as a bot and show your profile to fewer people. All right, buddy, you be safe out there. We're almost done. We still got 2 more parts. I'm going to cover this stuff before I get off. I'm covering this stuff. So even if it's a delay, I'm going to cover all the information I was going to bring today. I do research for y'all. All right. Now, third thing is you want to update your profile regularly. So swapping out, changing out a photo or tweaking your bio every few weeks signals to the algorithm that you are an active user, which can boost your visibility. By overhauling your strategy, you stop being a passive participant and become an active player. And this shows how you stop wasting time and start attracting people that you actually want to meet. Now, if you've optimized your apps and you've defined your non-negotiables, but maybe you're just tired of the digital grind, this brings us to the number 3 hack, which is warm approaches. Modern dating often pushes us to extremes. The cold approach, talk to a total stranger online or random bump into a person in public, and hoping to meet someone through your very small, as fellas, we don't have that many people that we have in our social group, a very small existing social group. The cold approach can feel impersonal, while your social circle is often limited. The warm approach is the powerful middle ground, and it's about creating opportunities to meet people through shared interests and communities. So it's not the cold approach because you already have a built in connection in that location. It's not high pressure because the context isn't explicitly romantic. The power of this approach is that it takes the pressure off a first date because you get to know someone in a relaxed, authentic setting. So, how do you do this? It requires a shift in mindset. You're not hunting for a partner, you're going to these places to enrich your own life and connect with people at the same time. Finding someone becomes a wonderful byproduct of living a full and interesting life. So, here's how you put the warm approach into action. First, you join an interest based group. What excites you? What have you always wanted to learn? Find a group for that. This could be a hiking club, a book club, a board game night, a recreational sports league, a language class, or a volunteer organization. Then consistency is going to be key here because when you show up to the same place week after week, you become a familiar face. This is a natural progression of human connection, which typically most of us do at bars and clubs and stuff to that effect. Now, you can see how someone's true personality in a low pressure environment can be more pronounced. Second, attend a community event. Your town is likely buzzing with events that you don't even know about because you very rarely leave the house. And you look for local festivals, free concerts, farmers markets, or gallery openings. Make it a habit to check local listings and commit to going at least one thing a week, even if you go alone. When you're there, you're just open and curious. Ask someone in line what brings them there. The shared events give an instant topic of conversation to individuals while you're in passing. Third, you want to leverage mutual connections strategically. Instead of passively waiting for your friends to set you up, become an active participant. Host a dinner party or a game night and tell each friend to bring one person that you don't know. This instantly expands your network. You can also be more direct with your close friends and let them know you're actively dating and what you're looking for. Say something like, hey, I'm trying to meet some new people and I trust your judgment. So if you know anyone you think I'd get along with, I'd be open to a low pressure group hangout sometimes. Now, if you've got that asshole friend that's like, oh, I don't think anybody I know will want to talk to you. Yeah, you just saved yourself a lot of hassle. But if your friends got your best interests in mind, they will keep their eyes out and they should know your type because they've seen the type of people that you've interacted with and they know what type is best for you if they value you. So they would try to find somebody that's close to your interest, but also has that also could have your best interest in mind, and they would try to introduce you to that type of person. Having your network curate your dating experience actually improves your ability for success because just like an algorithm, they're going to be the one that's going to bring to you somebody that should be in line with your expectations. Now, the beauty of a warm approach is that it rehumanizes dating. It takes the focus off the outcome and puts it back on the process, building a life that you love. Even if you don't meet your next partner, you'll still enrich your life and made new friends along the way. And ironically, a person living a full, passionate life is one of the most attractive people you can be. And we've covered practical strategies, but none of them will work without the final, most profound hack, and that is the mindset shift. This is the internal work that makes everything else effective. The problem is that many people approach dating from a place of seeking. They are seeking validation, seeking approval, and seeking to be chosen. And this creates a needy energy that is deeply unattractive, especially to women. Women that are desperately needy of money are seen as gold diggers by men, and men that are desperately needy of attention and connection are not attractive to women. So hack number 4 is to completely flip the script. Shift your mindset from seeking validation to offering value. Something like running this podcast. I'm offering value on a regular basis. What does this mean? It means that you stop asking, how can I get this person to like me, and start asking, what value do I bring to the table? Which is what I ask women on a regular basis. What value do you bring to the table? Most women can only admit to their good looks and their positive attitude, but their positive attitude is only positive when they seemingly are more attracted to the man than the man is attracted to the woman. Because if the man is more attracted to the woman than the woman is attracted to the man, she typically has a piss poor attitude. The 3 things that a woman is identified by is her good looks, her behavior, and her fun behavior. But this is only going to happen if she really wants to be there. So if she really wants to be there, she's really interested in what she's doing if she's not interested in you. So the fun and the positive behavior, that's 2 out of 3 things that are subjective to change based on her attitude, her whatever's going on. The only thing that she would have going for her in the conversation that is not going to change is her level of attractiveness, unless she gets run over by a car. So when you're asking, what do they bring to the table? If they're not bringing nothing to the table, it's like, well, what the fuck am I doing at this table? Then you want to ask yourself, before you start trying to put in all this effort to impress them, do I even like this person? Because before you invest in this person, you got to find out if you like this person. Before you invest in a stock, you got to like that stock. Before you invest in a car, you got to like that car. It's a shift from being the applicant in a job interview to being the CEO of your own life. Now, I understand, ladies, if y'all are doing this and fellas are doing this at the same time, that there's going to be a conflict of role playing, because both of you can't be CEOs at the same time over different companies and also be the applicant at the same time of the opposite company. But technically, yes, you can. Because, ladies, what you have to offer, you're the CEO of that. And he's applying for it. But, ladies, what you're trying to get from him, he's the CEO of that, and you're applying for it. So you have to see the resume that he has to offer to meet your expectations, but you also have to see the duties, roles, and responsibilities of the title that you have to fulfill in order for you to get what you want from him. It's not all about you. You have to be able to decide if this person is a good fit for your company before you start investing in them. And this isn't arrogance. It's a quiet self-worth assessment. Here's what the shift looks like in practice. First, it means cultivating your own life first. So your life has to have meaning to you. Your romantic life is just one department of your life, not the entire company. You also have departments for your career, your health, your friendships, and your hobbies. A person who offers value ensures all their departments are thriving and their life is already full. A partner is someone who adds to a wonderful life, not someone required to complete it. This abundance is magnetic. He said, good to see you, Dylan. How you doing, buddy? I was wondering where you was. You could have been here. I know you probably had to work. It's been a rough week. I got here late as hell too, but I was like 20 minutes late though. But we've been here for 2.5 hours because I couldn't get the whole show done because Bro Logic came through and he started talking about gold and crypto and silver again. He was trying to run that into the ground. He couldn't give me any, the football game. You know, I'm a Saints fan, so I don't even think my team is in it. So I stopped watching football when Drew Brees retired. Yeah, he came back. He's going to come back on Tuesday. I told him like, wait, the main topic we talking about improving relationships, and he gonna swing back in here and start talking about money. I entertained it for a little bit, but because him and somebody off of Twitch was on here, and we were all talking about money and investments and Tesla and stuff and stocks and everything for like 45 minutes. But I did let the guy know, I'm like, well, on for real, like he's not giving me any facts that shows that gold and silver is going to be um spiking in value in the next 2 months, because he's making it seem like it's going to happen next month, and he's saying that it's going to happen specifically because the U.S. dollar is supposed to be tied to the value of gold, and it's not. The U.S. dollar has been subjugated from gold since Donald Trump's first term, and since the U.S. dollar is backed by faith alone, in God we trust, not in the backed by the federal mint, you cannot change the value of gold and impact the value of the U.S. debt. It makes no sense. What the United States government did talk about, and I covered this a few months ago, is that they were talking about two things. The Trump $1 coin, which if they make it, it'll be the first president that was ever on U.S. currency while they were still alive, because typically they don't do that. Typically you die first and then they put you on a currency. But the other thing they talked about was making a $1 trillion platinum coin to offset the U.S. deficit. If they did, they would have to make 37 platinum coins valued at $1 trillion a coin, which would bring our debt down to zero. And then that would offset whatever our deficit is. If they were smart, they would do like 40 of those $1 trillion coins, so that we would have $5 trillion worth of profit to do some stuff with. And then, that would off, but that's a platinum coin. That has nothing to do with gold. So he's going to be on well, they would have to take the other guy off of the last $500 bill, because we had a $1,000 bill, a $500 bill, and then the $100 bill. And we had a $5,000 bill at one point in time, but they took all of those currencies out, I guess based on counterfeit. I don't know exactly why they took them out, but once they took them out, all we have is a $100 bill. So I believe you when you believe that they're going to put him on the $500 bill, because Trump has always been about rich. So I think putting his face on a $500 bill and bringing back the $500 bill might be a thing. I could see that happening before the value of gold gets to $25,000 in January. I don't see that happening. Not because the US dollar dropped 10% in value, because if it dropped 10% in value, your currency exchange in another country is not going to be worth the same. That's what that means when the value of money drops by 10%. So you can't go to Japan with $100,000 and think that you're going to get the same value of money that you used to get 5 years ago. When you go there this time, your $100,000 might be worth $90,000 because it dropped 10% in value. But that does not mean that gold is going to be $25,000, because US dollars is 10% less in value. But how much does it cost for them to make a dollar? Like $1.12 or something like that, maybe more than that. So the cost to make the US dollar is more than what the dollar is worth. And at the end of the day, the guy was talking on some other stuff, and I was just like, you know what? Do some research, come back, and give me some facts. I'm gonna cover some of this, because he was talking about the gold was going to get inflated, then it was going to be sold for crypto and then tied into XRP. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to do some research, and I'll talk about the crypto and XRP part on Tuesday, and then I'll talk about the gold part in a couple weeks when I get some factual information related to it. But if there's some debunking of some myth going on, I'll do that faster than validating his position. When they start trying to tie stuff like that together, I'm just like, no. Donald Trump did say that he was going to create a sovereign wealth fund, and he did say that he was going to have capital gains backing cryptocurrency, so that we could generate revenue in investments, so that the government can generate its own money, where ultimately over time the American people would not be required to or be expected to pay taxation. But just because over time that's going to happen, that's not going to happen this year. That's not going to happen by the end of Donald Trump's term, his second, maybe last term in his life. I don't see that happening. If he gets one more term before he dies, or if JD Vance takes over and runs it for 4 more years and makes it a thing, it might happen in like 2040, but 2036 or something like that, but not right now. Not between now and 2027. I don't see it happening. Not with the information that we've been getting. He's like, watch, it's gonna be reevaluated next month, and it's gonna explode. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I don't see it happening. So instead of performing for someone else to say the right things, your goal when you're trying to find a person that has value for you is to create a positive experience and genuinely get to know them first, where you're trying to figure out if they are a good fit for you, not putting on a showcase to convince them to stay, not spending all your money to convince them to stay. We used to do that when we was younger and dumber, and it always failed. She would stay because of all the money we were spending, but she ended up not being the kind of person we would want to stay with because we didn't choose the right person, not because women aren't worth staying with, because no man can truly survive in life without a woman with him. Women have a completely important purpose in the role of men, and it's not servitude. Okay, men live longer when they're in happy relationships, but it is the happy relationship part that women are forgetting about. That's the reason why men are out dying women in America. But think about this, y'all. Think about this, y'all. Over in Asia, women are outliving men. Or no, men are outliving women actually in Asia. Why are women dying before men in Asia? and the men are dying before women in America. If the men treat the women in Asia better than the women treat the men in America, then the women in Asia wouldn't be taking foreign men. And if the women in America treated men better than the men treated the women in Asia, then the men in America wouldn't be leaving America to go find women in Asia. I'm just trying to tell you. Let's preach the gospel real quick. You have to offer value of being a great conversationalist by being curious about who they are. You want to ask more about them instead of talking more about you, because who gives a fuck about you? I came here to find out who the fuck you are. I'm not sitting here for me to try to pitch a deal to you. You don't need to know who the fuck I need to know who you are. Right? Because if I know who you are, then I can decide how my money gonna get split now. Because if I hire you on as my partner, you're gonna be part of my salary. You're gonna be part of my payroll. People are gonna say, "Oh, that's misogynistic." No, think about it, ladies. You want a financially successful man that makes more money than you. Doesn't matter if you make your own money. You want a man that makes more money than you. If you want something where your money stops, his money's going to continue. No matter how much you do, he's going to do more than you because he's got more than you. So whatever it is that you want or need that he is capable of getting for you, if you allow him to get it for you, that comes out of his pocket, which makes you part of his financial liabilities. Now, you become an asset when he benefits from your presence. So if I'm going to decide to take you on as a liability before I can find out the benefits of your presence, I have to first find out, who the fuck are you? Now, flip side that, ladies, same thing. Instead of just getting him because he's spending a bunch of money, you need to find out what's he doing with it when he's not wasting it on you. You need to find out what's he willing to do for you. You need to find out what he expects you to do for him so that you can decide what you're capable of. How can you improve his situation? Can you improve his situation? How can he improve your situation? Can he improve your situation? You need to be finding out exactly what you're getting out of this scenario outside of free stuff and the obligation to put out after you get the free stuff. You need to figure out what you're getting out of the deal. So instead of trying to put on a show and impress the other person, y'all need to be able to have a reasonable exchange of information. Explain to him the kind of person that you are and what you expect. Then you should be expecting him to explain what kind of person he is and what he expects from you. Then both of y'all have the expectation and obligation to do as you're told by the other person in order to have a relationship. It's not just women submit to men. The fact is that in order for you to be in a partnership, y'all have to agree to go in the same direction at the same time. Anybody who's a gamer, whether you play an online game on your cell phone, whether you play an online game on a gaming console, if you're in a guild, if you're in an alliance, if you're in a squad, if you're in any type of group, especially if it's a group that has to work together for a common goal, the more people in the group, the more negotiations that happen. If you notice, any of the fighting games that you ever get on, there's less fighting and more politics going on, where you have like 100 and something people in a group under one flag. You have 15 people in authority calling the shots, negotiating deals with other groups, with other flags, and there's less fighting than a mass kill 'em game would expect to have, right? But sitting across the table from the one person that you need to negotiate to be successful, there shouldn't be a mass fallout. Because if you can deliberate success for your guild, for your alliance, for your squad on a video game, you should be able to negotiate success with your partner in a date. If you right now can think about 1 to 3 games that you play, for those of you that are gamers, and I'm talking to you Gen Zs, millennials, Gen Xers especially, because we started gaming and our kids and our grandkids are now on it too. We are the first generation of true gamers. We the triple OG doubles. And if you can manage leading a group of individuals in a mass multiplaying role-playing game that can allow you to conquer somebody else's whatever it is, then you should be able to get into a real-life conversation with a real-life person and negotiate terms where both of you are satisfied and potentially happy. I don't know what happened. My internet's still running. You said I froze. I don't know what happened. My internet's still running. I'm still here. So I don't know what happened, bro. It doesn't show that I froze. I had to double check. It doesn't show that I froze. I had to make sure. I'm like, oh, frame drop. Now, um, if you share your own stories with passion, not to impress the other person, but to connect, the pressure vanishes because your focus is on creating a space for genuine connection, not on one-upping one another. Oh, that's because YouTube switched out. That was It happens. We had a large quantity of people flowing in, and then we're going to have a large quantity of people flowing in a little bit because we're almost at the top of that hour. it resets it. Their algorithm is so horrible. So what happens is that their algorithm is designed supposedly to differentiate between people who don't stay for more than 15 seconds versus the ones that stay. But it also stops counting the people that got pulled off for a commercial break. So a lot of people could have dropped off because of a commercial break. It doesn't count them a second time when they come back because it's only counting authentic viewers that are still watching the show. So if you were counted once, you're not counted again. So I can have a few thousand people watching right now, but it's only counting the last handful of people that jumped on, not all the ones that are still here from 3 hours ago. So, so the number of people on the counter is not the number of people that are here. And then the number of people on your counter is not the number of people that's on the other counter because there's 2 different counters here. There's one for the vertical form and one for the long form. And then I got another counter for Twitter and another counter for Twitch. So I am spread out. I diversified about viewers, which is crazy. So I actually have a larger viewership than the average individual person can see. But they truly believe that I actually have lower viewership because, one, the counter isn't reading it, and the counter isn't reading all of the viewers on the show. It is because I'm streaming twice from 2 different locations on YouTube at the same time. So all of the viewers aren't in one location. And then I'm also streaming from 2 different other platforms that are not YouTube at the same time. So not all of the viewers are on YouTube. So one platform might have 5 people on it today because of the type of topic. But the other platform could have a few hundred, and the other 2 platforms could be dividing a few thousand, and nobody would know who all is on the show, because only the people that talk on the show, not the ones that listen in the background and nod their head and laugh at the comments, the ones that are being seen. You only know who's here by who speaks and who clicks the links and jump up onto the live. Everyone else is just lurking. I don't mind one way or another, because when I do the endorsement deals to promote something because of the quantity of viewers that I have on my platform, that endorsement deal covers it all. 9% retention rate, that's all I need. Which is above average for this particular type of podcast. They expect 0.4% retention. So if I'm doing across 3 hours 9% retention, I'm actually doing right. There you go. And it's kind of fixed. See, look, I told you I got the side by side now. Oh, look, and then it fixed it on the 9x16 as well. So I got the top and the bottom.
All right.
Pro status. We're going to be one step away from outdoing TikTok. So you were watching the game. Did your team win?
I lost the sound.
You lost the sound? I said you were watching the game. Did your team win?
Oh yeah, it's just a college football game, Texas versus A&M.
Oh, I heard that game was coming up. I wasn't even paying. Somebody was telling me about it when John Cena was beating up Mr. Guerrero guy for the Intercontinental title, and I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna play coming soon. I didn't pay attention after that. They're supposed to be in the championship.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
So today we were talking about 4 different ways that we were going to improve our ability to curate finding a better person after yesterday's discussion. And we started off by talking about intentional broadcasting of your intent, what you're looking for in your relationship. That's the first thing that we covered. Basically putting it all on the loud. It's called loud looking, where you're putting everything on the line of your expectations in the first few dates as to what you expect out of this relationship. Then we started talking about, since people are primarily coming off of social media and dating platforms, we were discussing improving your profile, being more serious about your profile, so that people can pay attention to your profile and actually interact with you based off of your expectations and your interactions with them, and lead the conversation directly into legitimate in-person engagement, not just simply developing this fictitious idea of who you think they should be based on the kind of conversation. Because you can fall in love with a photo, but that not be the person that you think it is. That hot chick that you're looking at could be a dude. You know what I mean? And the thing is that you don't know who it is until you meet them, whether it's a video call or an in-person engagement. So I strongly encourage people to try to get it to that in-person engagement, or at least that video call, as reasonably decent of a time as possible, because just letting it linger on just texting back and forward, you have the fantasy that you build based on the text back and forth, but text messages are curated. You think about what you're going to say before you say it. In-person communication, you don't have much time to rebuttal anything, and you don't have the ability to filter what you're about to say. It just comes right out of your mouth, and then you're like, oops, my bad, kind of thing. And the stuff that you could have a 12-hour conversation by text that would last you 2 minutes of vocal. And then the other thing we said is that after we came out of the digital world and started doing real world engagements with one another, we would start deliberately putting ourselves in activities in our communities, or actually in the area that we want to be seen, interacting in the activity, not hunting for a partner. And then if you met somebody, y'all would have shared interests, and that would give you something to build upon, because just like bros connect through an activity, you could find a partner if you're into, fishing or building boats or whatever, and she's into fishing or building boats or whatever. While y'all are building a boat together or whatever, y'all can sit there and have a conversation. That's called the warm approach. So instead of just flagging a girl down on the street, trying to get her to stop power walking so that she can give you some attention where she wasn't interested in talking to you, instead she's there with you doing what you're doing at the same time. And while you're there, y'all just spark up a conversation, and since y'all meet on a regular basis, you could build a rapport before the first date, where you're more likely to hit it off on the date because y'all spend so much time together naturally on that shared hobby. So, what are your insights on
I would say that that's a good approach. I mean, like just cutting through the BS to figure out who they are and what they're about before you get too far in the relationship. I mean, you're right, because the expectation is maybe to be a certain way, like what social media portrays, but taking the time to make sure that you are compatible first early on is really important. I don't know if you need to be their best friend, but you definitely need to be able to get along with them and communicate, because if you can't, or at least you don't have the same values in life, it gets harder later. The photo thing is, really easy to fall into. Like you fall in love with the idea of the person, what they look like, who you think you could make them want to become. But at the end of the day, they're going to be whoever they're going to be regardless. So it's better not to get money involved in the beginning. It's hard. It seems like an easy thing for men to do, to just throw money at a problem. You feel like that should fix it. I took you on a date, so you should like me now, but it doesn't work.
that? Right.
Yeah. So I
I
mean,
paid for your bar tab. You should like me now. Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna like you regardless. Hopefully for who you are, because that's like why men. I mean, that's why women cheat on their husbands with like the gardener, because the gardener is feeling something else that the man's not providing. And
Yeah.
so wouldn't you rather figure that out before you get married and go down that crazy path?
Before you hire the gardener, you should find out from the gardener what
Wow.
he's doing right to keep his garden fresh.
Yeah, so that's my
I
sense on
agree.
it.
Yeah.
And I think gold's going to go to $200 million.
I don't think gold. Okay, eventually, I think gold will get to $200 million, but I don't think gold's going to be $200 million in January. That was the argument. The argument was that gold's going to go from $4,000 to $25,000 in January specifically.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's outrageous.
I mean, it would be nice. I mean, but I think a lot of the crypto people talk like that and try to
Mm-hmm.
get the whole world and community behind them and hype it up. Very few of the actual coins have gone up crazy in value. I mean, they're very volatile. So, something could be worth 5 cents today and then tomorrow be worth 25 cents. And then it could drop down to 1 penny. So I don't think anybody really knows, and it's a lot of it's mostly hype. There's been so many people that those meme coins that they've just scammed people, investors out of
Yeah.
money. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, put this on your social media about this coin, and we'll give you 1 million of these coins. And if it goes to a
Yep.
penny, that's $10,000. But then, they do the rug pull thing. The Hawk Tua girl. I don't know if you covered her at all when
Yep.
that happened, but
Yeah, she
Hawk
got sued for
Tua,
that
yeah, I mean, it's a big rug pull. And
because
she
they
just,
put the money up there and then they took too much of it out and then the market crashed
yeah, one
and that
investor
was fraud.
that pulled the money out. So it's pretty suspect when it drops 90%. So
Yeah.
she should have stuck to what she does, what she knows, and
Yeah, what she does best, keep that
yeah.
jaw working.
So
But one of the things I was looking like Donald Trump, they talked about Trump having a crypto crash, and Trump coin is out there, Doge coin is out there, and those are meme coins that are backed by Elon Musk and Donald Trump's currencies. And those currencies was looking like they were getting closer to $10, then things changed. So I don't see um the money coming in from gold, the gold bars increasing in value. The guy's saying they're going to be reevaluated in January and then
yeah,
automatically spike
here you go.
$25,000.
Here's a currency question just came up on the screen.
I was about to get to that one. uh, Fries, do you think there will be an overhaul of the currency system? Do you think that we will be paying in 50s, hundreds, 500s, thousands, and 5,000s, etc., sort of like the kroner. Well, the penny is supposed to be out. Now, there is going to be some type of overhaul of the distribution of currency, because now if you price something at 94 cents or if you price something at 99 cents, uh, that penny difference, somebody's got to eat the cost. And then with gas, it's like $1.09 of whatever it is. That fraction of a penny that used to they be able to get away with, now it's a whole penny of difference because somebody has to round up to the nearest coin, whether it's the customer or it's the business. Now, if everything goes to 5 cents, you still have the problem of uneven percentages of taxation, because like 8% taxes or 8.5% taxes, 7.95% taxes, depending on what state you're in, the percentage of taxes, even if they valued it at an even dollar, could still overall be a $20 item, could end up being, because of taxes, be $22.87. And because now you don't have those 3 pennies because the pennies are gone, somebody's got to eat the cost of that. Now, do I believe that they're going to go back to $500 bills, $1,000 bills, and $5,000 bills? No. They discontinued the making of those, and unless it has got Donald Trump's face on it, I don't see it coming back. Because counterfeiting. That's going to be the main reason why. One, counterfeiting. Two, nobody's going to want to break a bill that big because of counterfeiting from the past. Do I believe that we're going to go upwards towards whole dollars and less towards coins because of that penny problem? Probably. But I don't believe that we're going to get much more than the $100 bills that we got going on right now. Because ATM machines don't put out hundreds. ATM machines will take your hundreds and put out 20s.
Yeah, they have to rechange the whole currency, because you think about the people that pull out $100 and spend it locally. Like, yeah, it'd be crazy for them to make those high bills.
But most places only take 20. So if they put 50s, 100s, 500s, where are you going to break that? At the bank?
Yeah.
That's the only place it's going to take it.
Yeah.
You're going to get it from a bank. You're going to be walking around flaunting it like these little dudes with the gold chains around their mouth. Yeah, I got $1,000 bills in my pocket that you can't even break if you need to put gas in your car. Hope somebody don't knock you off and take it from you. But that's all you're doing is showing that off, because nobody will accept that as tender to make a purchase anywhere. You would have to take it to a bank and break it down into something smaller.
Yeah.
It's good to travel with. If you had 10 $1,000 bills or 2 $5,000 bills, it's easier to fold that up in an envelope and stick it in the bottom of your sock, and you don't got to worry about getting knocked off by the TSA. But it's harder for you to walk around with $10,000 worth of $1 bills. But I mean, besides Floyd Mayweather, who the hell goes anywhere with $10,000 worth of $1 bills?
That's so stupid.
He only did it because he was going to a strip club. You already know that his mentality was not profitable.
Yeah.
I mean, the women that was out there profited from it. The fellas that out with him profited from it, but it didn't go anywhere. That moment in time was a type of moment in time that we can always talk about, but those people will never see that type of capital again unless that man comes back. And their whole life is going to be like Al Bundy, 4 touchdowns in a single game. I made $10,000 in the King's Hotel. Right. For the rest of your life. I'm valuable. I'm a high class. No, you're not. You're only as much. You're only worth as much as what somebody else is willing to pay for your presence. He says, I see taxes and inflation ballooning if Democrats and prices will all rise and higher currencies will represent the worth of the currency. I find it crazy that people tie money problems directly to the Democrats exclusively. Every time somebody wants to comment on something going wrong in the country, it is always directed at the Democrats. But the Democrats are not making decisions. Since January, no Democrat is making a decision. So if this action actually occurs, it is the Republican decision until 2028. We can say that in the past, when Democrats were running the country, they could have been making bad choices. But from January of 25 until December of 28, Republicans are making decisions. So if taxes and inflation continue to balloon, that is going to be the fault and responsibility of the current administration, because any actions that befall us after 2028 is because of the wheels that were set in motion in 2025, because an executive order lasts for 25 years. And the outcome of that 25-year span, if it's not undermined by the next authority, if you have a Democrat get in right after a Republican, if it is not undermined by the next authority, if it's continued on, so say Trump gets out of office and J.D. Vance gets into office, he continues what Donald Trump started. You have 8 years of Republican decisions going on. 25 years from now is the responsibility of the Republican Party that just happened. So if you want to point a finger at what happened in 2028, you need to go back 25 years ago. Who was the president in 2020? He's the reason why the country sucks today. I don't know which one was president in 2020. Was it Obama or was it Donald Trump? Because Trump got in at 17. Wasn't he 17 to 21?
Yeah, 2020
not 2020.
was Biden.
25 years ago, 2000, not 2020, 2000.
Oh, George Bush.
President in 2000. George Bush. So he's the reason why. And was George Bush a Democrat? No. Okay, so that means that a Republican in 2020 and his executive decisions led to the catastrophic failure that we're feeling right now in 2025. Donald Trump in 2025 is doing stuff that in 2050 we're going to be feeling. We're going to experience the full totality of what he does if nobody interferes with it. So in 2028, what was it, Bill Clinton after George Bush? So from 28 to 30 or 28 to 32, whatever Bill Clinton did in the early 90s or late 90s, not late 90s, like 2024 or 2004 to 2008, till Obama got into office, that president is responsible for the 28 to 2032 era. I don't know if that was a Republican or whatever, but I know that 25 years ago was a catalyst for what's going on. Now, the current president will take responsibility for it or be blamed for it, but he didn't start this. He's just riding the wave of it. What he starts this year is what we be feeling for the next 25 years. So you can't say that that's Democrats. Democrats aren't making these decisions. Republicans made the decisions 25 years ago, and a Republican is making a decision now. I don't think inflation is going to go down because Americans are wasteful, not because of government policies. I know you keep saying after 2028, I'm reading it, but I'm telling you, I don't think that it's not it's not Democrats. And the reason why it's not Democrats is because Democrats don't have authority right now. You see how long the government got shut down. Who shut down the government? Who said no? Was it a Democrat or was it the president? Because I remember Donald Trump said, I am not agreeing to your terms. Isn't that what he said? He the one that signed the executive order that opened up the government. So who had the authority for the shutdown? Was it Democrats or was it Republicans? It wasn't Democrats. It was Republicans.
Yeah, it was the Democrats that shut it down.
The Democrats started some shit that the Republicans didn't agree to, and the Republicans shut it down because Republicans control the office. Republicans said, no, we're not going to agree with this. We're not going to sign off on nothing that's got that crap on it. So because that's what the Democrats was pushing, whatever they were pushing, the Republicans didn't agree to it, but the Republicans had the authority. When the Republicans signed off on the government going back open to the magnitude of paying all of the workers, the money started flowing again. But whatever they didn't agree on is still being debated, which is why it's a temporary kick the can down the road that's got to be reassessed before January 30th. But at the end of the day, you still have the Republicans got the authority to say, I still don't agree with your terms. And if we don't agree, the budget doesn't get done. But if you and I don't agree, and I'm the one that clicks the button on canceling the show, who shut the show down? I did. We don't have to agree, but I'm the one that controls whether or not this keeps going. The president controls whether or not the government keeps going. He's the one that has to sign off on a bill outside of a unanimous vote for Congress. If he did not agree to this, whatever they're arguing about, he stopped the ball. Whether or not he stopped it for a legitimate reason, or whether or not their requests were rational, doesn't change the fact that he is in control of what will happen. He is pushing the authority of a president to the maximum levels of authority so that you can see what a president should be doing instead of being considered a figurehead. I can't say that I agree with everything that he does, but what I can say is that he takes responsibility for the position that he's in.
Yeah.
And he's the reason why I stopped working, because he didn't agree with what was going on. And he's the reason why I started working when they agreed to pay all the workers. So again, you still can't blame the Democrats for the 380 something thousand other people who don't want to get into Congress and make better changes with our politics. You can't blame the Democratic Party for the 200 and something people, 200 and something, not 200 and something thousand, 200. There's less people running this country than there are people in college right now. There are less people in our country than we have police officers. There are less people in our country than we have jails. There are less people than we have judges that are running our country. And we are supposed to change those seats out with fresh blood every term. And we don't.
Right.
So the reason why, whether you blame a Republican or you blame a Democrat, the reason why the political parties suck the way you say they suck is because the person who made that statement didn't take their ass out there and run to be a damn politician so that they can make change for our country. The people complaining should be the people that should be putting themselves on the ballot.
Yeah.
Because why are we not making change if we want change? If we see stuff going sideways, why are we letting it go sideways? Dylan said, what about food stamps being replaced with Taco Bell? I think that's a bad idea, bro. I think that's a bad idea. What is your premise for food stamps being replaced with Taco Bell?
Well, I was just thinking, instead of, complaining about what, they buy with food stamps being, a lot of fraud going on and being sold, they could just solve it by saying, okay, well, you get a voucher to go to Taco Bell every day for free. And,
that voucher is where food stamps started.
Yeah, but I don't know if Taco Bell is necessarily healthy for you, but a lot of people go there. So,
no, it's not.
But some
They've
stuff
increased the quality of their meat, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know you asked a question out of humor, but I mean, food stamps started off as a voucher, and then it ended up as digital currency, and then they started expanding its authorization of what it could be spent on. And now it's covering everything. But people use the voucher because everything that can be exchanged for monetary value can be bought and sold. Now, you're not supposed to sell food stamps, but people do. They actually sell them 2 for 1. So if I got a $500 food stamp card, I can get $250 cash from you from it. That's how people sell it. And then at the same time, even though they're not supposed to do that, they'll take you to the store, swipe the food stamp card on $500 worth of groceries. Then y'all get outside and they hand that person $250 cash. They take that $250 cash and put it on their bills. Now, that happens in low-income communities from individuals who don't have enough capital to pay for their standard of living. So instead of the hypothetical issuing everybody vouchers for Taco Bell, if they had increased the income level for the Section 8 vouchers, where they could subsidize the rent for low-income individuals that make less than $40,000 a year or make less than $50,000 a year, where they would get like $500 or $700 extra dollars worth of money towards their standard living, they could potentially pay for their own damn groceries.
Yeah.
It would, but again, you would be changing the money is still going to be distributed. So instead of getting like $300 a person for food, you'd be getting like $400-$500 a month for rent.
The thing that I see that's crazy in my neighborhood is, people go with the food stamp card, and the convenience stores, they have hot food like chicken wings and French fries.
Bring it up as a cold food item, and then you can get it.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Like they'll order 5 pizzas, and
But you can change that dynamic and do away with the food stamp card altogether and put that $500 down directly towards the rent. So it goes from the government to the landlord. It never touches your hand. It eliminates
Yeah,
fraud.
I think housing is a bigger problem than the food. I mean, because if
Well,
people,
food is a problem because you can't afford housing. So, I mean, if they fix the
well,
housing problem,
yeah,
they would be able to pay for food out of their own pocket.
yeah,
Because even when you think about the taxation on top of the cost of food, let's say 300 and let's say 10 cents on the dollar, so $330 worth of food with taxes. If they gave you a $500 voucher on your rent, if you make less than 50,000 a year, and then you just pay for all of your groceries out of your pocket, you're going to be paying $500 in cash on groceries anyway out of your pocket. You can't cheat your own paycheck, but your rent is coming from the U.S. government.
yeah,
So you cover the difference. You would have to get a place that you can afford. They're going to put $500 towards it. The extra money that you're making off of not having to pay the rent, you buy food for your house, but you cannot sell your rent voucher because it goes directly to your landlord. That eliminates the fraud. When they put services into the hands of the people exploit it because everything can be sold. Your Sun Pass can be rented out to somebody if you wanted to. You could put money on
yeah,
your Sun Pass and then you could charge somebody, you know, double what you're going to pay for the toll, and then just keep feeding money onto that toll. They don't have to know that they're paying twice as much money. You can turn a profit off of leasing out your Sun Pass. The same way you can rent out your car, the same way you can rent out an apartment in your house.
yeah.
It's
There's a lot
crazy.
of. Well, I gotta get going. I'll see y'all later, though.
All right, man. I appreciate you
Thanks.
dropping by. We about to wrap
I,
up anyway.
yeah,
I'll see you
yeah. I'll
tomorrow
be
if you're
here.
able to swing by, because I think
I'll be
tomorrow.
here tomorrow.
Tomorrow we're talking about the housing thing because you asked me about the 50
Oh,
year thing. I'm gonna talk about
yeah.
it tomorrow.
Okay, bet.
Yes, sir. I'll see you tomorrow. Be safe. He said Democrats should. He said Democrats should run the actual winner of the primary and not circumvent the election like they did in the last three elections, where the members of Congress would get us the same 75% discount healthcare premium. Now you're talking, Eric. They need to get, instead of giving us 75% healthcare premiums, what they should do is they should go ahead and take Hillary's proposal for free healthcare and just put that shit down, and then we wouldn't have no problems. He said more people living in Section 8 housing driving BMWs and because Americans are wasteful. Sometimes people are poor because they just have poor choices. That's the reason why people are struggling. Sometimes if you make fiscally responsible decisions, your ass wouldn't be struggling so much. If you find them red Gucci bottom shoes that you like at the mall and you ain't got enough money to put your kid in daycare, instead of buying them damn shoes, you can go to the club and you pay for your damn baby daycare. Instead of lying to your man and tell him that your hair costs $2,000 when it costs $250, so that you can take the extra money and go buy your shoes and still do your baby daycare, tell your man the truth. You need some money for the child, and you want to go out with your homies. But if you be more fiscally responsible about what you're doing, you would not have so many financial problems. The reason why you have so many financial problems is because you deliberately make bad choices. Nobody on Section 8 should own a Mercedes or a BMW. Nobody on Section 8 should own a car that is worth more than the house or apartment that they're living in. That is a key indicator that they should sell that car and start paying full price for that house. At the end of the day, people are wasteful spenders. Every time you can save money on something because the government is paying for something, instead of you being responsible and investing that extra money somewhere so that you can make money for you, you will do less because you're getting more instead of maximizing what you're getting so that you can have more when that opportunity stops coming to you. And that's the reason why poor people stay poor, because of poor choices. But if you was to make that change, just like we said, oh, let's change food stamps from food stamps to Taco Bell vouchers, or from food stamp and Taco Bell vouchers to housing vouchers. If you reduce the cost of rent to poor individuals, they will spend more money on bullshit. But if you stop food stamps and put the money towards housing, where you eliminate the fraud, but you still cover the spread, people will complain because they don't have the free money for food no more. But if you don't have the free money for food no more, but you have the free money for housing, You can pay for the food out your pocket, but the money goes from the government to your landlord and the fraud is gone. The only fraud that you can do with that is renting out extra rooms in your apartment, subletting your apartment to other individuals, which people will do to make extra money. But out of that extra money that you get out of selling your government benefits to other people, you don't take that extra money and go and invest in something that can generate more money where you don't got to keep selling your benefits. Instead of selling your benefits, what you need to do, instead of selling your benefits for bullshit, because that's what they do. They sell their benefits and they go get cigarettes, they go get liquor, they go buy stuff that they can't buy with the food stamps, and that's why they don't got nothing. But if you take your money and put it towards something important, you would no longer need them benefits. He said, Fries, listen, low income get Medicare free healthcare. Not all of them. You have to be exceptionally poor to get that free part. Because you can, if you make more than 30 to 35,000, but you make less than 55,000, you can't afford it. That's why Obama covered the spread with Obamacare. The highest income earners can afford healthcare at any level, but the rest should be able to afford it. But that's what Obamacare was about. Obamacare was supposed to be about covering the spread. So if you make more than $30,000, you don't get the free Medicare or the free government healthcare plans. You get marketplace plans. But those marketplace plans came from Obama's Obamacare bill that got passed. Healthcare premiums are at 75% discount like federal employees enjoy. They need to give us fucking 90% discount. This shit should be free. Why are we the best country in the world by defined, not proven, but we're like 135th in medical care. We are like in the lower end of the 200 plus verified countries. We're on the bottom half, the bottom 25% of success in most areas that is defined as best country. We should have the best healthcare plans. We should have the best healthcare networks. We should have the most affordable healthcare. We should have the most affordable housing. We should have more than just a working wage. We should have a living wage where the minimum standard of living exceeds inflation on the cost of your standard of living. But it's not. That's not what we have. But when you look at what Trump is dismantling, the stuff that he's dismantling, he's taking down the things that ain't working. I don't know who's benefited from it, but I'm not benefiting from it. So when he took it down, did I get mad about it? Did I take off my bra and start marching through the streets, shaving off my head? No. Came to the show and did the podcast like I do every single day, because whatever he gonna do is gonna make the kind of change, hopefully over the next 40 years, I will be able to see in the next 25 how that benefits me. But as I see the change, I'm going to change the way I do things, because the laws wasn't made to protect me. My ancestors was property when the Constitution was created, when the first laws in this country was built. These laws wasn't made for me, but be damned if I'm not going to learn how to use them. I'm not going to sit here and have no pity party. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the Democrats is fucking everything up and da-da-da-da-da. A lot of the times, half of us didn't even vote. Out of 100% of the voters, because you got to think about this, 380-something thousand Americans do not vote every year. A percentage of Americans vote. And out of 100% of the voters, a percentage of them are Republican and a percentage of them are Democrat. And a percentage of them are independent, but they have to vote either Republican or Democrat because they don't have an independent party representative in the finals. But the largest majority of us that complain about what's not going right, we're not out there making change. The best change that you see is us getting out there, getting some damn exercise, getting our ass kicked in Chicago, messing with ISIS. When your ass should be in your house watching that shit on TV, you outside in the street causing shit. I can guarantee you the motherfucker's not gonna come around me. One way or another, that'll be the last podcast I air. But you're not gonna see me out there protesting in the street. I see a crowd of people up ahead. I'm gonna turn right here and go around the block. Fuck that shit. I'm not trying to be involved in no bullshit. Is I went to Obamacare and it was exceptionally high, and then went to the healthcare company direct and instantly cut the premiums by more than half. So I know for sure Obamacare is a scam. For, okay, every health insurance policy is a scam because it does not bank off of your poor health. It banks off of you being healthy. Obamacare was not the scam. It was the insurance company's ability to charge extra premiums because of your poor health and high usage of the health insurance. So Obamacare did not scam you because Obamacare is a bill that demands that no person be denied health insurance coverage, no matter how poor their health is. Now, the law allows the insurance companies to adjust their premiums. And that's where the scam comes from, not from Obamacare. If Obama was to put a cap on insurance premiums, the way they put a cap on the cost of cell phones, then you would not be able to have to pay so much money for your health insurance. But the benefits that they offer for cheaper premiums is not going to be the benefits that you get for higher premiums. I got a marketplace health insurance. I pay $0 a month for that health insurance, but guess how many times I take my ass to the doctor? 0 motherfucking times. But I don't pay for it neither. If I had to pay $20 a month, I'd be at that bitch every week. I'd be at a doctor, a chiropractor, a massage therapist, acupuncture. I would have all kind of shit. I'd have prescription drugs up here that I don't even use. I'd be all kind of stuff. Because if I'm gonna pay for it, I'm gonna use the fuck out of it. I don't pay shit for the marketplace that I have, and that lets me know, because that marketplace came out because of Obamacare. That lets me know that while you went someplace and got on a health insurance policy, that health insurance policy was exactly what insurance companies do: rip people off. But I damn sure got an insurance card right now that I could go to the doctor, and I don't. I don't have to pay for it though. It's free every year. Every year they call me this time of year and re-up my stuff for the upcoming year, and I pay nothing for whatever I want to do with my medical treatment if I wanted to. My glasses is the only thing that's not covered, but I get a 20% discount. But 20% off of $800 glasses is not really saving you no damn money. So, but again, if medical care was free, while yes, everybody could go to the doctor for nothing, guess what? The lines at the doctor would be long as fuck. You think the ER sucks? Private care would have a overlay. You would have to schedule an appointment 6 months in advance and remember to show up. It'd be worse than talking to the IRS because everybody would get to go to the doctor. The benefit of select benefits is because less people can afford to get that, and the less people that can afford to get that, the more benefit it is for the people that get it. Yeah. Okay. Trivelago or kayak. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. But the health insurance, the requirement to have health insurance is there because if you don't have it, they tax you like $900 something tax penalty for not having health insurance. So if you have health insurance, they don't penalize you. If you don't go to the doctor, you paying all this money for health insurance. The money that you're paying per month for health insurance is the money that they would charge you for taxes to not have health insurance. So you could just say fuck health insurance and just give the government an extra $900 on your taxes every year and be like, fuck it. I mean, it's up to you. But again, none of this is really that we're blaming the Democratic Party because the private insurance companies overcharge people for their insurance, for their service. That's not the president. That's not Donald Trump's fault. That's not Obama's fault. That's the insurance company's fault. Okay? But making a law that says that you cannot deny people because of their poor health, that is Obama's fault. And just because they took advantage of that and raised the prices, that's the policy. That's the insurance company's fault. That ain't Obama's fault. Obamacare is a term for a bill, not an actual insurance plan. Obama doesn't have an insurance plan. Obama doesn't benefit from people getting health insurance. He just tried to cover the spread of stuff that people didn't have, that poor people didn't have, like access to education and access to healthcare. And he had to fight the Republicans to get that. Because before that, we ain't have shit. You had a gap between people who had health insurance and people who didn't. Now you got a gap. The gap is covered. You just don't like how much it costs. Can't do anything about it. It's because of the government. No, it's not because of the government. It's because of the people in the society that don't have the courage to step up and go to the government. Every person on this channel that wants the government to change should be running for office. I have had less than 500 people come on this show and complain about the government. So if each one of y'all ran for one of them chairs and got that chair, we would have a new government. That's how you fix the problem. You don't just complain about it. You go make change. Go run for governor, run for mayor, run for state. Run for your local town hall. Run for chief of police. Run for sheriff. Put your name officially on the ballot. Even if don't nobody vote for you, give them an option that is not the same as what we've already had. You know, the largest majority of people will vote for something different just to see change. So if you are the only non-cop on the ballot for the chief of police, you might get more votes than the police get. They're gonna have 5,000 votes because it's 5,000 cops. They might get 10,000 votes because it's 5,000 cops and their families. But if you are the only non-cop on the ballot talking about changing how police treat people, I guarantee you that that type of campaign would have everybody that's not a cop voting for you. Everybody that's not related to a cop voting for you because they want to see somebody else get in here and do something different. If you want to make change in your country, get off your keister meester and go find out how you get into that position to be on the ballot to make change, because you make change from the top down, not from the bottom up. That's how it happens. That's how Michelle Obama did it. You make change from the top down, not from the bottom up. You can make change in your life, but you cannot make change in your society from the bottom up. It's only going to go so far. You can make change in your neighborhood. You can make change with your neighbors. You can make change with your landlord. You can make change with your local grocery stores, but you're not going to be able to change what your mayor do, and you're not going to be able to change what law enforcement do, and you're not going to be able to change what your governor do, and you're not going to be able to change what your electives do because you don't even know who your elective is. Most people cannot tell me what's the name of their electoral voter. You can't tell me what their mailing address is for you to mail them a letter and tell them what you want. So, with that being said, you put yourself in a position to not have a voice because you don't know what you need to know to make change. Yeah, people can shop around. He said people can shop around for whatever plan they want, just like auto insurance, of course. But it's not favorable to you because it's only cheap if you don't use it. If you using it, it's gonna cost money. He says bullshit because it's been corrupt for more than 100 years. It's been corrupt for more than 100 years because the 500 people that have been there for the last 50. The people in office right now, 60, 70, 80 years old. Look at Donald Trump, 80-something years old. These people have been in politics for over 50 years. They've been in their position for 50 years. 2/3 of their life, they've been in that same spot. How many times have you and I been in that spot? That's the problem. He says, my wife went to high school with you. Do you know a Jenny Tolles? Nope. She wants to know if you remember her. I do not. I might know her if I see her, but I don't remember names. You're telling me about high school. That was 30-something years ago. if that would have been my high school, but I stopped high school in the 9th grade and then went to college at 27. So if you knew me from high school, I got to think about which chick is that. Where was I working? Because I had a job when I was in high school. Where was I working? She knows me from high school. She knew where I worked because when I went straight to school from work, where was I working? There's no way you don't know Goated Clash Royal build. Oh Lord, he said they made a movie in the 30s that outlined the corruption called Mr. Smith Goes to Washington with Jim Stewart. They made a movie like I, Robot and Terminator that represents Tesla taking over the country with Digitech on his butt, and we still got robots that are shaped like humanoid individuals that look like they might go into law enforcement. It don't change until we change. We got a lot of movies about human cloning. We don't care about that neither. They got movies out there right now about flying cars. We haven't seen them yet, but they exist. They got movies out there about androids. We're building machines right now to replace human interaction. And in 3 to 5 years, those machines are going to be mainstream. Even at $150,000 a bot, that's $15,000 a year, which is cheaper than a woman right now. So I mean, again, and the second generation is going to be male bots. So you think, oh, female bots, blah 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 blah, but they got female bots. All the men are going to spend 150 grand on a female bot. Then the male bots is going to be 10 grand, and the females is going to buy up all the male bots. And then each woman is going to have a robot. Each man's going to have a robot. No two people are going to be a human in a relationship. And we're going to have to do artificial assimilation in order to incubate children in test tubes in order to have a second generation after the robots is half of the dating pool. Because we don't know how to interact with one another. We ain't got respect for ourselves, much less the people around us. So I mean, that makes a good idea. Now, the third one, because we got a couple more things, we're gonna wrap this up. I want to cover a couple more things. Is going to be the mindset revolution, and you handle rejection differently than what you used to, because if you see rejection as validation, then rejection is going to be very devastating. It feels like a judgment on your worth, but when you come from a place of offering value, rejection is just information. It means that we are not a compatible match, and that's fine because it doesn't diminish the value that you bring. This resilience is a superpower that in the dating world you can actually benefit from. So instead of being disappointed about rejection, when you recognize that this individual doesn't mesh well with you, instead of waiting on the rejection, just leave. So how do you cultivate this type of mindset? Instead of pretending like you want them to want you, you need to realize, do you want them? Oh Lord, he came back with another movie about RoboCop. Yeah, I know. But that doesn't change the fact that exactly, they came up with RoboCop. He got the robots. They had Tron. He made the Cybertruck. Then he made the RoboCab. But everything that happened in movies has been brought to life, or most things have been brought to life, short the Enterprise, where we can fly on a spaceship and share resources without fighting and not be greedy about the stuff that we have, and travel to different planets looking for new life and new civilization and boldly going where no man has gone before. So eventually we're going to have an Enterprise. Probably funded by the Sovereign Wealth Fund that's being created by Donald Trump. So probably in about 100 years, we'll have an Enterprise. Now, we're going to start with self-awareness. You want to ask yourself, when I go on a date, is my primary goal to be liked by the other person, or to see if I like them? Because you also build this mindset when you're investing in yourself outside of dating, instead of just looking for an exclusive partner. So if you sign up for a course, a book that also like let's say you go on a trip. You want to go on a trip. You start to create a project, and then you invest time in yourself, and then you are adding value to yourself. And then when you book that trip, or you go on that vacation, whatever, you are able to remind yourself that you yourself are the prize. Now, the ultimate hack is going to come in when you're changing everything without changing anything on the surface, because this is going to be the difference between asking, so do you like me? And confidently knowing that this is who I am, and let's see if we're a match, because this mental shift is going to be something that people are not ready for. If I want to go somewhere and then I decide that I'm going to ask you if you want to go with me, I am going even if you don't go. So if you call me to cancel, I'm already there. I don't care. I've already started ordering. If you're late, shit's already coming. You know what I mean? I ordered 2 meals. And if you don't sit down and eat one of them, I'm going to take one of them to go. I don't give a shit. Because I wanted to go somewhere. Not that I wanted to impress you. And I know women feel like men should impress women, but I mean, what do men benefit from impressing women besides sleeping with women? Women need to bring value to the table and then find out if that man is valuable to her outside of the date itself. So the goal is not to get a free meal. The goal is not to get free entertainment. Her goal is to find out if this is a competent and capable person that makes the type of decisions that she agrees with. That way, when she allows him to make those decisions on her behalf, then she does not have to worry about him making decisions that she disagrees with, which means that they won't be arguing about his decision, and she will not be devaluing him because he's afraid to make a decision. So instead of going out there and enjoying the show and enjoying a night out and enjoying the yacht party and enjoying all the lavish gifts, the big teddy bears and the gold watches and the perfume and all this other stuff, think about how much fucking money he just wasted to not know what your last name is, and ask yourself, does you want a person to spend that kind of money on bullshit for the rest of your life? And then decide, is that the person you really want to be with? Because if his money talk for him, he ain't got much to say. Because a man that don't spend $1 can show you a shit ton more than a man that can spend $100,000. Because a man that spent $100,000 says, I just spent money. But a man that can build you a yacht and take you sailing can show you that I can build a life for you. That's a completely different experience. The man that's outside working on his own car, you pull up, he hear a noise, and he start working on your car. That's a whole lot different than a man pulling up in a brand new expensive rental car. I got it like that for the weekend. Y'all remember we was in the 90s, the Cash Money Millionaires, gator boots with the pimped out Gucci shoe. We got no job, but we stay fly. We can't pay our bills, but all our money spent, and we still fly. Y'all remember them lyrics? We get paid, but a house don't. If they want to come and get us, they want to evict us, they got to bring the law with them, because we're not going to let them have it. All this money we spending in the club, but we had a quarter tank of gas or a tank on E. But we riding in the Escalade. Now, ain't no fucking Escalade going nowhere on no damn empty tank. Why the hell we riding around wasting fucking money? You think about the mentality of the rappers' portrayals. They are not advocating success. They're advocating wastefulness. I got it like that so I can spend $100,000 in one night. What the fuck you spent it on? If you still can't touch what you spent it on $100,000 in one night 10 years ago when you dropped that album, that was a waste of money. Okay? So, ladies, y'all need to find out what y'all are looking for when y'all come to talk to these people. So this isn't me devaluing women at all. This is me telling the women, y'all, men and women, we going in for the wrong thing. And because we're going in for the wrong thing, that's why we're coming out with the wrong thing. is good while we have it. Sex might be good, the attention might be good, the validation might be good until it stops. But because we went in it looking for the wrong thing, we come out of it with the wrong thing. And this shift is going to separate people with endless struggles from those who navigate dating with confidence and ultimate success. So instead of you ending up with revolving doors of bad relationships, you will either find the right person to stay with, or you will stay by yourself and enjoy life until you find the right person to stay with. So there you have it. 4 dating hacks that actually work. And it took 3.5 hours to cover it. We started with hack number 1, which was defining your non-negotiable expectations for behavior, your ultimate compatibility filter to stop wasting time. Then you move to hack number 2, which is a strategic dating app overhaul that I've been telling you all about for over a year now, where you plan to stand out and attract the right people. Next was hack 3, mastering the warm approach about engineering serendipity by meeting people through shared interests instead of random encounters. And finally, number 4 is the mindset shift, moving from seeking validation to offering value and internal engine of power, which will provide you with the largest quantity of success out of all of the hacks, because this internal engine of power that is provided by the offering of self-validation and self-value is the power to change your dating life from what it was to what you want it to be. And that power is in your hands, within the realm of your control. It starts with self-awareness. It is driven by strategy and is sustained by a belief in your own personal value. Like Cat Williams said, your self-esteem is the esteem of your motherfucking self. So why the hell do people you don't know control your self-esteem? It is not social value. It is your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. You have the tools, and the only thing left is to go out there and use them. So y'all got to remember that more often than not, we're starting close to the top of the hour. When we do start, we don't always start on time, but we always go live every night of the week, 7 nights a week, and we do not let the sun rise without going live. So if this video gave you guys perspectives, I want y'all to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And for more no nonsense advice on building a better life and better relationships, make sure to subscribe to the channel on Twitter, on Twitch. Hit those follow buttons and hit the notification button so that you get notified as soon as we go live. I want to make sure that I hear from you guys. So what is the biggest challenge you're facing in your dating life right now? I want y'all to make sure that y'all take time to drop it into the comments down below, because I read everybody's comments and I get back to most people within 24 hours as of late. Now, as I walk out of the show, I want to say thank you guys for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And before we go, I'm going to say, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. One more comment on our way out of the door. Lack of time. Lack of time. The biggest challenge you're facing in dating right now is the lack of time. So before I go, I'm going to tell you something about your lack of time. Your lack of time, Steve, no offense, true story. Your lack of time is because you're putting too much unnecessary bullshit on your plate. You are prioritizing every single insignificant thing in your life that does not bring you value, where only 20% of the stuff that's really important to your success needs to acquire the majority of your attention. I have quite a few shows about this. You need to take time out of your week and you need to write down the priorities that need to be done, the things that could be done if you have time, and then everything else does not need to be done. Then in order for you to get more time, you're going to want to first Find 1 or 2 time-sensitive, urgent, most important things that need to be done out of your life, and try your best to accomplish 1 or 2 of them every day. Then you want to find 3 things that it doesn't matter if you do it or not, but if you can get it done, you will get it done. But if you can't get it done, that's fine. You'll push it off to another day. No more than 5 tasks per day, every day, even on your days off, are you going to assign yourself. And some of these tasks are going to be rolled over to the next day. Any task that you roll over for 3, 4, 5 weeks, 2, 3, 4 months, you'll come to find out that that shit was never important to you. You will then find out that the stuff that you prioritized was the stuff that was the most important to you. You will also find out that the stuff that you did conquer out of the day, where at the end of your day, you can check off the list all the things that you actually accomplished. Then look down the road and see how much stuff you actually did do today versus how much stuff you needed to do today. And you come to find out that you really was putting too much pressure on yourself to do too many things at one time. It's not about procrastination. It's about prioritization. Instead of trying to put everything into, got to get it done today, you're rushing from place to place. You're hauling tail. You don't got time to stop and sniff the roses. You don't got time to say, thank you for giving me that bag. You don't got time to say, hold on, let me let you pass me first. Because you put too many things, you're running a 26-hour day on a 24-hour clock, and because you're 2 hours late, you're pissed off all day long, you're frustrated and stressed out, hypervigilance all day long, and that is your whole week, which boils into your off day, and your off day is not an off day because now you got to make up for 10 hours worth of missed stuff that you didn't get to do during the 5 days of work that you're making up on your off day. So now your off day is not an off day. Now your off day is a work day, doing all the stuff you didn't get to do during the rest of the week. That's why you don't have enough time. Go get your 2 whiteboards and a Sharpie. On one whiteboard, you're going to put all the stuff that must get done. Primary bills, maintenance on the vehicles, going to work, whatever. Then the things you wish you could do as far as obligations, not personal pleasure, just obligations. Go down in the courthouse, update registration, this, that, and third, whatever you got to do. Take out the trash, fix the gutter, clean the washer dry, get a new coffee pot, whatever you got to do, right? Then on the other whiteboard, as you do them, cross them off of that whiteboard, write them on this whiteboard every day, write down all the stuff you did. You will come to find out you do way more shit than what you think. But if you prioritize 20% of the things that need to get done, will give you 80% more gratification than the other 80% of the stuff that you put your effort in that only get you 20% gratification. So if you change how you prioritize your time, you will end up with more time. And lack of time will destroy your relationship. So if you do find a person that you're compatible with, she might not stay with you because you don't got enough time to spend time with her. She might spend more time with somebody else and form a bond with that person and leave you for that person. But you don't want to abandon your responsibilities. So your best bet is to carve out time out of your life for free time. That free time can then be filled with an extra person if that extra person shows up. But if that extra person doesn't show up, that extra time is your time to relax, not think about bills, not think about responsibilities, not think about objectives that haven't been completed, and start focusing on yourself. Recover yourself from your last financial crisis. Recover yourself from your last bad relationship. Recover yourself from that last lost family member. Recover yourself from unexpected change that catastrophically destroyed your success. And start focusing on direct improvements towards ongoing success to get back on track with that 20-year plan. Whatever you plan to be at by the time you were 60, wherever the plan you be at before you 55 or 75, you want to start getting back on track to hit those marks. And while you're focusing on your success, if somebody passes your way, they're only going to catch your attention if they blend with your objectives. Because no matter how attractive that girl might be, you will find out that she might not be what you need. She might be what you want. She might be what you're lusting for, but she might not be what you need. And ladies, while I give this information to the men to make them higher valued men, in all honesty, this is not a red pill, blue pill, black pill podcast. This is a male driven podcast from the male's perspective. But ladies, y'all could take this information too. You take all the information I just told Steve and you apply it to yourself, and you will come to find that while you're focusing on building yourself up, the man that does cross your attention is going to be the man that's in line with your goals. Because while he might look cute and he might be spending a lot of money in the location that you're standing in, he is not what you need. Because what you need is stability. And wasteful spending is not stability. So you will be able to carve time out of your life for that relationship. And when you find a partner that benefits you, that partner will help you fulfill your list. Like Blackstreet said back in the early 90s, let's take your problems and my problems, put them together, and we can conquer these problems together. You should be able to help her clean off her list. She should be able to help you clean off your list, which gives y'all more time for each other, which gives you the ability to sustain a happy and satisfying relationship because y'all are both working towards the same goal of problem solving and improving. Self-improvement and group improvement. A healthy mutual level of codependency compounded with significant, stable self-sufficiency. You can hold it down till your partner show up, but your partner got your back so that you ain't in it by yourself. That is a healthy relationship. Once you find that, you will make time. You're not going to have a lack of time. Another reason why you don't have time is because you don't want that bullshit in your life, because normally that bullshit come when you let another person into your life. So you block out your availability as a defense mechanism to not get into another bad relationship to get hurt. Once you allow yourself to heal, you will make time. You'll start leaving the house more. You'll start socializing with people more. You'll start socializing with people of interest more. You'll start exchanging phone numbers with people. You'll start taking time to meet up with people. You'll reorganize your schedule for these people, and you will find yourself making time. But you have to fix yourself first. You are not going to get a race car out of a Honda Civic, out of a junkyard, if you don't fix that motherfucker first. You are not going to have a happy, stable relationship if you don't fix the instability in your life first. And if you're overworking yourself because you're not making enough money on your job, the first thing you got to do is improve your income or reduce your cost of living. And then invest extra money in other places so that you can make money for yourself so that you don't have to work so hard. That's another way to make more time. Once you're financially stable, guess what? You're more attractive to women. So, one more time, I thank you guys for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Chase validation, now I validate
That's my personal command. I'm not mounted on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never yield.